All right, what up? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler here with Johnny, and we're here talking about games for America's Independence Day, the 4th of July. The first game we're going to talk about is Metal Wolf Chaos for the original Xbox, and then we're going to talk about that American election simulator for the Famicom.
Absolutely. Also on the docket is the 9/11 edition of Siphon Filter 3, because what's more patriotic than the Two Towers? Or Twin Towers?
Yeah, I mean, it's also got a cool flag on that cover.
Yeah, I said Two Towers, just falling right into Lord of the Rings bullshit. Man, I am too involved with Lord of the Rings.
Johnny,
that's not what we're doing.
I started this episode like this because the last thing asked in the Ask the Podcast section of the Discord was Cozy asking, in honor of Independence Day, what's your favorite collectible American video game? And because of the way we answer those questions, we would not get to that today. So I just want to start out with, I think it's actually both those two games. I forget what the Famicom election game was, but Metal Wolf Chaos for the original Xbox, you literally play as the President of the United States in a mech, and it's just as incredible as you think it is.
It's incredible.
It is. That game's like 6 hours long. It is just, you could sit down and play through it in one day, and it's perfect. Doesn't overstay its welcome. You blow stuff up with mechs. It's like a little bit challenging, so you don't beat everything on your first try. I'm in.
Oh, okay.
Johnny, what's your American game? It can't just be Siphon Filter 3. I need a game that's really more American than that.
Hold on. I'm gonna pick something that's from the Super Nintendo. I believe it's got the presidents on it. You know it. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Super Back to the Future.
You got it. Super Back to the Future 2, Super Famicom only version. Pretty cool. It's also not Uncharted Waters. It's also not a winning post game.
Oh, and what are you picking? Liberty or Death?
No, Tyler. Why would I pick Liberty or Death?
Because it's got George Washington on the cover. But what is your pick?
That's my pick.
Oh, okay, it's Liberty or Death.
Yeah.
Is that a Koei game?
Also,
we're going to get a lot of excitement here if that's a Koei game. You can get the original Liberty or Death for the PC 98 because everything came out on Japanese computers first. Probably the most prominently featured portrait of George Washington on a game is Liberty or Death, a boring strategy game.
There's nothing more patriotic than this. I did a bit about this on Instagram a long time ago where I was like, this is the game I pick. And then I'm like, just kidding. I'm picking Independence Day for the PS1 and the Sega Saturn.
I remember that.
Which is also a game you could pick.
Are you doing anything for the July 4th, Johnny? You having some hot dogs?
I'm doing the most American thing you can do, Tyler. Not have hot dogs. I don't like hot dogs. You know this about me, right? That I don't eat hot dogs.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like fucking hot dogs, Johnny.
Well, you're looking at them. I don't eat. One, I don't eat pork. Then people are like, well, what about an all beef? I'm like, no, I just don't like the way it's packaged. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that at all. Just it does not. No, thank you. Bad texture, just bad. Don't like any of it. So, no hot dogs. I'm staying at home with my dog because he does not like fireworks. And he is the saddest golden doodle who just looks just so confused. He's a big dummy. I love him, but he is a dummy. And then things in the sky go boom and he just looks at me for help. And I don't want to leave him by himself for that. And people are like, oh, sedate him. Like, he doesn't need to be sedated. He just wants someone next to him. So I'm just like hanging out. Yeah, people are like, oh, they've got like these doggy Xanax and things you can give them. And like, so you can go out. I'm like, guys, I've seen a lot of fireworks in my life. It's okay. Fireworks haven't improved very much. If we were going to look at something and be like, hey, the technology of fireworks, I mean, I'm sure it's gotten better, but what have you really done? What advancements have we really seen? I'm pretty sure like in 5 years when they determine that this is all like fire and chaos, and then like somebody somewhere will be like, we can't do fireworks anymore. Here's a laser light show in the sky. And then people will be really mad. And, there'll be political commentary around that.
I,
But
I kind of agree. Is this part of becoming an adult? I got invited to some fireworks. I guess it's either today or tomorrow. But it's like 100 something degrees and humid in North Carolina right now. So I just look at that. I'm like, you know what? I've kind of seen fireworks. I've seen a
yeah,
lot of fireworks in my life, and they're kind of all the same.
yeah. I mean, look, they're pretty, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I'm like, yeah, but how long is this cool? Like, I don't want to go out because now, I think it's fun when you've got like kids with sparklers and stuff, and you got like the little flowers and stuff in the street, nothing too crazy. I'm not trying to launch mortars from the middle of my cul-de-sac or anything anymore. Uh, but like when you have to go to like a mall parking lot or something, or like a high school, they've got you all rounded up, and then you're just like, oh look, this is the same like 20 fireworks I've seen my whole life. That's cool. And then at the end, we'll launch 1,000 of them all at once. And it'll just be like, boom, 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 boom.
I
and
didn't expect that.
colors.
I
I'm
thought
just
the show was over.
yeah. You're like, oh, all right. We did have an exciting one like 3 years ago. I did not go. My wife and her brother were there. And one of the mortars fell over as it was launching and launched itself into the crowd.
Ooh, that's fun. That's the kind of exciting stuff. See, this is why like teenagers in your cul-de-sac launching mortars, or like just dads who go and spend $600, is way more exciting than the professional fire shows.
Oh yeah, yeah. The added risk. I'm in for the risk. Like, ooh, who's losing their hand today? Like, what's gonna happen?
I mean, because like the professional shows, they'll send out like a barge into the ocean or something, and they'll have it all set up remotely. But it's way more fun looking out my window and watching like a teenager light something and then run away. It's like, oh shit, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's for us. It's always cooler to me to like just go. There's like a couple of good peaks you can go to, and like over the hills. Like you've been through my town, right? Like on the mountains.
Yeah.
But you can overlook LA, the valley, and you just watch as all of the fireworks go off over Los Angeles, and that's pretty cool because they're everywhere.
It doesn't even look real, and I've seen this before the age of AI, but I saw from an airplane was flying over LA during like 9 p.m. 4th of July, and just like the entire city is covered in like just random people lighting fireworks. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go to LA. I've never seen anything like that in New York.
Way cooler to do that. Yeah. There we also are by the ocean, so we do get some like cool barge ones. When it's foggy is when I like it, because then you can't then the fireworks become so indistinct. But then the whole like it looks like like some magical storm is rolling in, because all of the fog and the clouds start flashing different colors, and it looks angry and weird. You're like, oh, this is cool. I like that too. So that's my preference.
Well, Johnny, I've
got some like poppers.
I have a gift for you for the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to stop making video games, the thing that we collect.
I'm going to tie this to the 4th of July.
Oh.
Because we are finally taking back our independence from physical media.
Oh. We're going back to what? The true ownership of owning a file on your computer?
Yeah, just not owning things. We are now free from the tyranny of physical media and the way that it's made us a slave to collecting. It's over, Tyler. It's dead.
It's almost over. So Sony, I guess, to give the whole timeline here, as if anyone is out of the loop, about 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, it was late June, Rockstar announced the Grand Theft Auto 6 Collector's Edition at $100. And kind of buried in there as like one bullet point, the collector's edition was a code in a box. And that is how it came out, that every single version of Grand Theft Auto 6, the biggest video game ever made, was going to be a code in a box with no physical media. And less than a week later, Sony said that January 2028 is when they're going to go entirely digital and stop producing discs. So this is something they had planned, but they waited for Rockstar to announce that GTA 6 was all digital before they're like, yeah, and by the way, everything's all digital now. And Sony is taking all the heat for this for some reason.
All of this. All of the heat. Even though the biggest game across multiple platforms is the one who decided to bail out of physical media, Sony is the bad guy. Nintendo already doing key cards, lots of codes, Xbox games, basically downloads. But yeah, Sony is taking so much brunt, and the stories over keeping physical media alive in the media are kind of hilarious. I don't know if you've seen any of the reactions. I've seen a lot of old men posting about how we need to save physical media and what it means, and some of the narratives, Tyler, are just brainless, not well thought out. Some are smart think pieces about ownership and digital rights and how corporations will be able to screw you. Mind you, this is also on the heels of Sony announcing like a bunch of their movie services that they're just removing from the platform, and I guess people won't have access to anymore if they don't have them physically downloaded. So there are reasons to be concerned about it. But one of the reasons to be concerned about it is not, oh, but I won't be able to lend my friend video games. And when you're a kid, borrowing someone's video game is like a key core child experience. And like, because you don't have money. I'm like, who are the kids that are doing this?
That is a real borrowing and renting, not renting, no one rents anymore, but like the used video game market. I mean, that's basically what they're trying to kill here is the used video game market, which is already small as it is.
Yeah. I'm not too concerned with keeping GameStop alive, as you know. They are like, that's the other thing. People have cited that this will kill GameStop, and they've cited this as a negative. Guys,
all right. So
GameStop pivoted away. They don't make their money on video games anymore. They sell Pokemon cards at 3x MSRP. They don't give a shit about your tiny video game margins. Get out of here.
Yeah, and fuck GameStop. I can't wait for them to go out of business. But I don't want game stores to go out of business. I want GameStop to be replaced by local game stores. That is going to be probably the biggest positive. Is if GameStop goes out of business and gets replaced by real retro game stores. The problem is I don't see the end of physical media as like a catalyst to make the game collecting hobby bigger that would encourage people to open retro game stores, because all they can sell then is used games and there's no longer new games being printed. So every few years they won't have a generation of new collectors coming into their business to buy the latest 20-year-old console games.
Well, everything has been so like everybody's looking for value now. Once video games became collectible, everyone's like, no one is just like donating games and, stores collecting bins of stuff and then, $5 games becoming $100 games so these companies can survive. I don't know, even if physical media continued, I don't know that video game stores can be incredibly profitable. There's always people who are surviving and doing well, but like as a GameStop, as a national game store, that's just, I think those days were done anyways. And clearly GameStop agreed, and that's why they pivoted so hard.
Johnny, I don't know about you. I want to take advantage of people who think they can make a business work. I want passionate indie game developer to make a game, pour his heart and soul into a game for 7 years, and then I want to buy that for 60% off on Steam. I want to go to the local card store and record store that are losing money every single month, but then I have a physical place to go buy things that I like because the person who opened it was just someone really passionate about cards or records. And I want someone who's like, I think I can make a used video game store work, and they're in business for 2 years and they lose all their money. But for those 2 years, I'm able to go to that physical game store. Because right now, it is impossible to open a physical game store because of the presence of GameStop. But we will have starry-eyed people who don't watch Rudy on Alpha Investments telling them to never open a physical store that will open up physical game stores that lose money. But for the 2 years that they're in business, we will be able to go there and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, let's think about this for a second. Let's talk through some more of the positives. Okay. What, if any, do you see as other positives for the end of just Sony stopping physical media? Does this do anything? Does this make PlayStation games more collectible? Is there any positives coming out of this?
I think the main positives are that it will create a closed set in the near future, probably by what 2030. Do you think? And they'll be
Yeah.
obviously they'll still be physical games forever, but they'll be very limited, like very few releases coming out. So the people who are literally trying to collect every video game or every Sony video game or every Nintendo video game, they will have something to target that makes it feel doable. And I remember when I started collecting, my goal was to collect every video game because the only video games that really existed that I considered collectible was Atari 2600 through Sega Saturn. It was like a few thousand video games compared to now where you'd have to be a crazy person to collect them all. And like there's this endless deluge of games that keep coming out. But if you say like, okay, this is now like a 20-year time horizon goal for me, and there's, however many thousands and thousands of video games there are, but if there is a closed set, then every single one you buy, you feel like you're making progress towards finally finishing that set. Whereas while games are still coming out, it feels like you're never going to finish the set, right? That's the only positive I could really think of.
So let me ask that, because Sony is stopping production of discs, but did not say they aren't going to let other people produce discs, right? Like I'm sure we're still going to see limited run release PS5 and PS4 games on discs.
The thing, if Sony stops disc, I think everyone else is going to stop it. It says they'll end physical PlayStation disc production. Do you have to get your games produced through Sony? I think that probably will cut off everything, right?
I'm unsure. And like, or is there going to be an agreement where like limited run and these boutique publishers can now, because the technology to produce a Sony disc isn't going to end unless Sony literally has that locked up and they aren't turning it over to anyone to produce discs. I'm not sure what their production looks like. I haven't looked into that yet. So it's like, does this really mean when they say Sony is going to stop doing this, does that mean everybody also who makes games that release on the PlayStation are also losing that ability? Does that mean PS4 discs aren't going to be able to be produced? Does this blow up limited run?
I'm interpreting it as Sony stopped producing physical discs means you can no longer produce PlayStation discs whatsoever.
Okay. So if that's the interpretation, yeah, I agree that it kind of closes the loop.
They did say that games that were physically produced before the cutoff will still be available on disc. So it's for new games. So there will be like some kind of continued thing going forward with discs, but only for games that were already on disc. And like I don't know what that means for things like where they re-release like rare PlayStation 2 games again or things like that. Yeah. Who knows? So like maybe you'll still see like rare PS5 games or whatever get re-released.
I'm just curious. Like there has to be like limited run has to be contacting them, right? They have a relationship with Sony. I'm sure there has to be some contacts being like, okay, how do we become the exclusive rights holder to produce some PlayStation discs like once in a while? Because that would be a huge boon if like somebody could control the means of production, right? And be like, okay, the only way to get PS5 is through us, this limited publisher, biggest publisher in the world.
Let's see. They have a blog. Let's go to their blog and see what they said. Sonic production updates. Oh, I guess it's a production update on some Sonic game they have. Believe it or not, I don't care. Wow, they have a lot of blogs posts. Oh my god, they have a blog post almost every day. Do you guys read the Limited Run Games blogs?
I don't.
Okay, so the day that Sony announced that production of PlayStation discs is ending, they made a blog post saying like some fluffy crap. Physical was never just a format to us. It is preservation, ownership, and craft. And then they announced a new Switch 2 game, and they did not say anything else. I would bet that this means that they can't produce new PS5 games starting in 2028. Or they would have said like, don't worry guys, we're not going anywhere. Yeah. They just say details to come at the bottom after they announced a Switch 2 game.
Yeah. So I have to imagine they're engaging in talks and like, what does this mean? Because Nintendo stopped producing Super Nintendo shells and boards a long time ago. except people keep releasing games in Super Nintendo cartridges, right? So like
I think the problem is that the DRM for that is cracked.
Yeah.
Like you could produce a new like Dreamcast disc, no problem.
Yes, that's why I'm wondering what the talks look like for Sony. Like, is this a thing where they're going to be like, nope, we are totally not letting this happen? Like, are they? That's what I'm more curious about. What does this conversation look like over several years? You know, or the year and a half that we have.
So I don't know how. I'm sure PS5 has much stronger like DRM to actually get a disc to run than like a PS1 does, which might just have like a wobbly band on the disc or something, because it has like the internet and all that crap. Like, will there be like corporations trying to like more seriously produce discs that run on like a PS2, a PS3, a PS4 without Sony's involvement?
That's what I'm curious. So I was going to ask you, like, does this suddenly set up a resurgence for like games that could technically run, like Steam games that could probably run on PS3s and PS4s? Do we start to see limited run pivoting into releases like that again? You know what they used to do with like games that never actually had physical editions? They start pumping out a bunch of stuff like that because it will work on a PS3.
I guess I'd be interested to see if more of that stuff if something like that happens in the future, but also, is it worth the effort to say figure out how to press a PS3 Blu-ray without Sony's permission? And then what? You could sell some PS3 games compared to you could sell as many Atari games, NES games, SNES games, TurboGrafx games, PC Engine, Dreamcast. I think we're just going to see a lot more retro stuff and not really care as much about this era. Like, in 10 years, when physical media is well and truly dead, who's going to care about running like PS3 games anymore? And I'm sorry, I know there's people out there who think PS3 is like the best console ever made. Great, it's a great console, but do we really need more PS3 games in 10 years? Like, what are we releasing on PS3 at that point?
I'm curious. Also, where are we on the arc of like how good a video game can actually be before it needs to pivot into a new technology? Like, we need some large technology change. Like, the difference between the PS4 and PS5, I'm not saying there's no difference. There clearly is, but it's not gigantic. The difference between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, like what's the difference between a PS5 and the PS6? What are we looking at here for differences?
I mean, I have no idea. We've already talked about how, like, because of crypto and chip shortage and the price of hardware going way up, like video games, like how much better can they get when everybody is stuck on kind of older hardware right now? Like the Steam Deck came out and like, I forgot that they cut the RAM or they increased the price, and it's like not as good as you would nearly expect $1,000 video game machine to be. The Steam machine, I mean. I see people building new computers with like 3060 Ti's, which that's like a 2-generation old GPU at this point. And it's a fine GPU. It's just usually you think of like PC gaming and people go out and they either buy the flagship GPU or like 1 or 2 levels under the flagship, but they're not buying 2-generation old hardware. But hardware is so ridiculously expensive right now because of AI that people are running way older hardware. So I don't know that video games will really be that much better in terms of graphics and thing. I think the gains are not going to come from more powerful hardware because powerful hardware is prohibitively expensive right now.
Yeah, well, and that's my point, right? So if if we've kind of hit this flat band of where games can go right now, what begins to happen? That's why I'm like, that's why I'm like, does someone look into producing games on the, the PS3, or is it just going to be a hard pivot into release everything on the Switch because those are still physical cartridges, or the Switch 2, which still allows.
What are we talking about, guys? You've got like a year left on like the Sony. Like, do not cling to Sony, to Microsoft and Nintendo for this. They're gonna find some sleepy Friday evening one day and be like, "Hey guys, by the way, 2029, no more Nintendo Switch cards."
I mean,
come on.
Xbox tried to do this a long ass time ago. They're like, guys, we don't need these discs anymore. And people revolted. And that's what people are doing right now. Hey, Tyler, before we get into the petitions that are being created, the most old man thing on the world, hey, I've got a petition, change.org, make sure you sign it so Sony sees that we're serious. Okay, guys. Yeah. All right. Maybe that works. I don't think so, but Godspeed. Good luck to you. What are more positives of this ending, if any?
No, there's no more
besides
positives.
just the end.
But no, the Microsoft thing that you talked about is interesting because gamers did complain. I forget if it was the Xbox One X, Series X. I don't know Microsoft consoles. Who cares?
I think it was Xbox One.
So PS4, Sony came out with this ad. It was like how to share a PS4 game with your friends, and they just had one guy handing over a PS4 disc to another one, and they said thanks, and it was awesome. And it was Sony showing their commitment to physical discs at a time Microsoft was trying to end them. Microsoft was trying to end this shit 10 years ago. Like, they are obviously looking for any chance. Also, Xbox is like bleeding money. Of course, they're looking for opportunities to save money, restrict the used game market, whatever they could do to eke out $1 here. And some people think that like Microsoft are going to start championing physical media because there's a new Halo remake coming out, and they like semi-highlighted the fact that it would have a physical disc. First of all the PlayStation games all have physical discs too, because this change doesn't take effect until 2028. Yeah. But like, yeah, they're gonna highlight it because you idiots will buy it more because, oh, a disc, wow, Sony killed all their discs immediately. Like, no, the PlayStation version of Halo also going to have a disc. And then Microsoft also had another stunt, like a publicity thing, like on GitHub. Microsoft owns GitHub, if you don't know. You were able to request your code on a physical disc, and they had some shitty blurb at the top, like, we're showing our commitment that your code is yours, and you'll always have it, and you could own it on a physical CD if you want, and they'll send you like a free CD of your GitHub repo. But it's all just like, it's just in
marketing.
A year, they're going to announce the death of Xbox physical media. Like, get real, guys, if it takes a year.
Yeah, no, this is 100% them just like being like, oh, look, Sony made a little misstep and we can capitalize in the market right now on this messaging. That's all this is. But also, like, can we just rewind for just 1 second and talk about this? The PS5 version of Halo will also have a disc. Let's just replay that in your head. The PS5 version of Halo will have a physical disc. Microsoft is already out. If Halo is on a PlayStation, guys, it's fucking over.
It's a Halo remake too. Johnny, I don't mean to diss fans of a franchise that is 25 years old. Halo doesn't excite me as much as, like, I don't know, a new game does, because there are like 9 Halo games. Like, I have enough Halo to play if I want to play some Halo.
I agree. We also have enough Mario games. If you suddenly showed me a Mario compilation on the PS5, I would be starting the funeral march for Nintendo.
Sure.
So, I'm just saying, it's like, if Microsoft is already in a place where they are putting their key headline, their mascot basically on another system, you think these are going to be the guys that save physical media?
I mean, absolutely. I think Microsoft is fucked in more ways than just that.
The
fact that we could talk to numerous collectors who don't even, like, we joke a little bit about like, oh, I don't know the difference between an Xbox One and a Series X. But a lot of people are like, yeah, I just don't really think about it because I don't care about Xbox. That is how little I care about Xbox. I can't even differentiate their consoles.
Agree. I'm just trying to disabuse people of the notion that Xbox or Microsoft will be their saviors later on. That's not happening.
And Nintendo won't either.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll ride the 1 year that they're going to have physical production that Sony won't, and then it'll be over. So,
I mean, as far as most likely to keep making physical is Nintendo, because just as like a technology chain, Nintendo is a slower moving corporation. They are more risk adverse, and look how long it took them to finally get to discs. Even when they knew the right move was to be on discs, they made the N64. And then they're like, okay, for real, we know we need to be on disc. Here's a GameCube disc.
I don't want to pivot to the weird stuff. I want to keep talking about physical stuff. An interesting thing with the Nintendo. So the Nintendo Power Super Famicom cartridge. This was basically a flash cartridge we're going to talk about later in this episode. It came out sometime in the late 90s. It was like 1997, 98, 99. And then the Super Famicom immediately died because the N64 was already out. And, it was the 2000s. And they took that was a cartridge that you could program in convenience stores in Japan. And they took those out in like 2001. And you could send your Nintendo Power Flash cartridge to Nintendo up until like 2007. Like the Xbox 360 was out and Nintendo was still supporting their Super Famicom media because that is how much they wanted to keep supporting their existing thing. And I'm not saying, I know Nintendo is not the same company they were in the 90s and the 2000s, but I do agree that they are more risk averse and slower to change. But I also don't think we're going to get another 10 fucking years of Nintendo cartridges.
No, I don't think it's going to be anything like that, but I can just see them holding out longer and championing it longer. But also, they've already made the move to try and be like, hey guys, you don't need these physical games. So yeah, Nintendo they're just like in this weird in-between space where they're like got a foot in each world. Also, I think if game companies were a little more serious about this, they'd be putting more storage in your consoles so you could like save games. Like this carousel and having to get aftermarket products or like just, drives to attach to your stuff to store all of your games is ridiculous.
So I don't really have, the last console I have is like a PS4 and the download speeds are atrocious. And like I have a Switch and the download speeds are atrocious because like on Steam I can get like 50 to 75 megabytes a second. Like my game, no matter what game I download, in like a minute, it's done. And I remember going on a Switch and like going to the Nintendo store and having the loading screen and watching like Mario jump and hit a coin or whatever. Like everything is so slow and annoying on consoles when I need to re-download and organize my games because of storage. And when you have like the consoles that have the smaller storage capacity and games are bigger than ever, it becomes even a bigger nightmare. Has they solved that now? Because I haven't been on consoles lately.
I think it's a little easier, but not great.
It's bullshit. Do I have to turn up my console and watch an ad before I can manage like my fucking downloaded games?
Don't give them any fucking ideas, Tyler. Shut up.
It already happened. What that was what the Xbox 360 redesign was. The first time they redesigned the Xbox 360 off blades, the new meta was, oh, you boot up your console and you get ads now.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about like when you go to the download manager, if you have to like watch an ad like every time you switch, don't say things like that. Do not give them ideas. Like, you want to download your game again? Here's a 90-second ad.
Stop buying consoles. Actually, there are a lot of I think there's a lot of cringe on Reddit right now related to the death of physical media. But you go on the game collecting subreddit, and there are so many people like, see ya, Sony, I'm moving to PC. And I don't mean to kind of rain on your guys' parade here. Like, go protest and have fun. It makes you feel good. Sony does not care about video game collectors. Nobody cares about video game collectors. The people who collect physical media, specifically the media, are such a small segment that does not matter to their bottom line at all. There are like tens of millions of people who are going to buy $100 copies of Grand Theft Auto 6, which is a download on a disc, and will not care that it doesn't have a disc, or they'll just be like, oh no, it doesn't have a disc in a manual, and then they'll buy it anyway. So if you're holding out, if you're like the 10 guys on Reddit holding out, Sony does not care. They're not going to start up the presses again because people are like, I'm in the 15% that we're buying physical media.
So Tyler, GTA has already made a large amount of money for pre-order. They've already announced that they're profitable.
I'm not surprised. Don't pre-order games, guys. But yeah, I'm kind of not surprised. I saw someone say 35 million pre-orders, but like that number is so ridiculous that I assumed it was like a joke or an exaggeration. But like, are there 35 million pre-orders? Because that would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see how much money. Let's see if they have it. Let's see. Has reportedly generated over $3 billion in revenue.
That must be 35 billion pre-orders. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is believed to have cleared its reported development and marketing budget of $2 billion before the game is even shipped. So this $2 billion game has already made $1 billion.
I think, you know what, of all the games to pre-order, I think it's a pretty safe bet that, It could be a terrible game somehow, but the fact that it is a $2 billion video game, it's gonna be something. It will be worth spending $80 to play it to see what a $2 billion video game is.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of that is marketing. So, like, usually, like, your development budget
a
is
$1 billion
60%.
video game. $1 billion.
Yeah, what does $1 billion get you? Again, was it the last episode where I talked about how people really don't understand the difference between a million and a billion? They really don't. And $1 billion is so big, guys. It is so big.
I remember I was watching like behind the scenes of like the Last of Us 2 stuff, and they were talking to some artists, and they were just talking about like, I just spent like weeks just working on a couple of these trees. And think of all the people, think of how big a game like Grand Theft Auto is. There must be like a fucking like sidewalk and asphalt team for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Why didn't they just have AI generate it? Stupid.
Oh, dude, they could have just had AI generate it.
Yeah.
That is, I don't want to get too off topic, but so there's the new AI, there's a new LLM Fable, and one of the big tests people do is they're like, just generate Grand Theft Auto 6 from scratch, and it'll make a game playable in a browser that looks like Roblox. And they're like, oh, dude, I can't believe it did this in one prompt. Oh, and it's like the worst broken Roblox fucking piece of shit game you've ever seen.
Yeah, people want to be excited for things. All right, so do you have any other positives, or should we list the negatives?
Johnny, there's no positives.
Okay, just that people can finally get off the video game treadmill and see the light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, so maybe this isn't a positive, but people will continue to collect things regardless of what they are. And I think a lot of game collectors, because we are obviously very concerned with owning video games, because we are video game collectors, we get caught up on the fact that you would only ever want to collect physical media, because to us that makes sense. We want the game, we want the media to be on the game, but the human desire to collect is not based on one specific thing. People do not care that they are owning a cartridge or a disc as much as they care that they have something. And that is what
they are participating in the act of collecting.
Yes. And that is what the companies will continue to take advantage of. There will still be collector's editions of games. There's collector's edition of Grand Theft Auto 6. It comes in a box for you to put on your shelf. Putting the box on the shelf is the thing that makes 90% of people feel good. They don't care about having the disc. And I think a lot of people who are like, oh man, they're not going to sell any of this shit anymore because all of us are going to stop buying, are wrong, because regular people do not fucking care. The collector gene is satisfied when people play World of Warcraft and they get like good items. That is satisfying the same human urge to collect shit that you get from buying games. When people buy skins in their Fortnite thing, when people buy games on Steam, they feel like they are building a collection of Steam games. They don't need to physically own it in your hands. You need to physically own it in your hands, but the human psychology that drives this whole collecting thing is not driven by holding physical media in your hands. So this will go on, whether limited run games keeps going with limited run games probably won't release digital things, but there will be, physical things you could own that are bullshit that just have digital things, and people will keep buying them as much as you basically whine about it.
100%. And I've talked about this quite a lot. We've seen people show off their Steam library collections. I've seen friends send me pictures of all the mounts they have in WoW, and it's impressive. Like, still to this day, still collecting mounts in WoW. And you're just like, because they are participating in collecting. And I've said, I think at some point we will get where codes come in boxes. Nintendo kind of sped this up a little bit, and they will like produce a tchotchke in there. There'll be like a trading card or something that you buy, and that will be how you collect games. They will try. There are people who do prefer to collect physical things, but they will do a thing where they try to entice you to go into stores and buy, because that is going to be one of the big negatives. Is video games are a driver for people to go into stores, and that is less so than it's ever been. And if you've been into a Best Buy or a Target or Walmart, wherever, those video game sections and physical media sections are shrinking, going away. So that that to me is going to be a negative when those are actually out of the stores. People are going to be seeing them less, getting less excited. Moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas aren't going to have eyes on stuff as much.
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure moms, dads, grandmas, and grandpas buy all their gifts on Amazon now.
I mean, probably, but there's still a picture of a physical item that they know how to buy. And that still makes sense to them that they're buying a physical item rather than a digital code. So to that point, that's why I'm thinking there will still be these codes and boxes or like comes with a special edition card. And there will be a large number of people who are participating. I already see lots of people who said, I will never buy a game key card. Never, ever, ever. You won't see me doing that. And then I see their collections full of game key cards and regular Switch 2 games just intermixed. Like, well, it does kind of have a disc in there. So we got something. There's a cartridge kind of in the slot, so like it counts. And I don't even think they're wrong necessarily. And we will talk more about like weird physical system. Like what does it mean to be a physical item for a game? Oh, well, the code is here or the code is right off the disc. It's just information. Where does it come from? How does it get there? How much does that matter? But yeah, this is the future of collecting. I don't think it'll stop either. Again, as you illustrated, the collector gene is real. Look at all the dumb shit people collect digitally. They don't already know, like they don't think about it as collection, but they're like playing whatever game. And they're like, oh, I want to get all these things. Like, why? Why do you want to get all of those things?
Because my brain.
Especially when there's skins. Yeah, something shiny. It's like crows out there collecting fucking rocks and shiny things. You're like, okay.
Hey nerds, do you want to collect, I don't know, all the Pokemon in your Pokemon game? Huh, I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Why, Tyler? Who cares? It's not even physical. Oh, well, we made some cards for you. Excellent news. Thank you. Could you charge me $10,000 for that one though? Because you put a shiny foil on it and limited to only this one pack that was in Japan? Thank you so much. Now I feel better about buying it.
Hey, John.
Welcome to collecting.
Can I tell you something? As a pretty serious video game collector, I will never buy a keycard game for a Nintendo console.
Uh-huh.
And that is because I don't even have a Nintendo account, so I can't play them.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Tyler. Because don't you need to buy Ada Pocopia?
Well, when they freaking release their $1,000 OLED Switch 2, we'll see about it. Is that keycard only?
It is.
You're so right that people are going to justify to themselves like, oh, well, this is the game. Oh, it's a license on a disc, but it's still a physical cartridge that you put in your thing, which
PC collectors haven't cared about this shit in ages.
I mean, no one collects PC outside of big box games and like really early stuff. I think the more apt analogy is every console game from the Xbox 360 on, where yes, the game is on the disc, but also you need a day one patch. You've got online updates. You have games that were entirely online. You have season passes. You have rolling amounts of content that were entirely on someone else's server. It's just not on the disc. And yeah, you got something on the disc, but you can't preserve the entire game just by having the disc because so much happens online now. Even like if all these stupid law pass, the stop killing games laws and all that will not preserve everything that a game ever was. And I think like, I don't know if there's a disconnect or people just like have to like, or people just live with that, but that is one of the reasons I'm not interested in collecting modern games. When you have a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 on the NES, that is the game. I have a physical copy of Rocket League on PC. That game is so many things, but it is not what's on that disc. I'm sure I could install the game. Maybe I could play it. Is there a single player Rocket League? I don't even know. But Rocket League is a season pass game, to be clear. It has all this online bullshit that happens all the time, all these different game modes. So, like, what the hell does the physical media for Rocket League even matter?
I don't think it does. What about PC games, though, where the content on the floppy is just gone? It does just rot away.
You could just reflash it. You could write that floppy disk again.
Oh, but how? Okay.
I think that's fine. Honestly, you know what? Johnny, we're on here for like what? We're on this rock for 80 years or something. If you have the real floppy disk and the media is corrupted on it, you could just go ahead and write that floppy disk again. I won't tell anyone. And you know what? If you bought a game and someone had already done that, you would never fucking know what it's not the original magnetic like little divots on the disk. They shifted slightly from manufacturing. Like, fuck off. No one will ever know that.
Until we start opening up and looking at it, it's like, oh God,
we can. So there are tools that will dump the actual magnetic flux of a floppy disk. So you can see like the physical media, the ups and downs of each bit. And you could probably compare that and be like, oh, these sectors are written slightly differently. Like the disk is rotationally 1 degree different from what it came from at the factory. I don't know how any of that shit works, but maybe you could tell.
Anyways, I hope people never get into that level.
They won't.
Before we wrap up, any other big negatives like you see? Obviously, I don't think people like it's killing collecting. I don't think it's killing collecting. I don't think it's killing video games. I don't care if it kills GameStop. I've got that listed as a positive. The childhood experience of being able to share a game with your friend. I don't know if that exists. I have never, by the time I was my son's age, I was already trading games with people and talking about games with people. All they do is talk about shit that's on the iPad or on their Switch, like, and not handoff ways. They only talk about digital content. They're not like, oh, this physical media. There's no engaged conversations about that.
Kids have not put discs into consoles for 10 or 15 years. They grow up with iPads, phones, and digital consoles. If you're a kid, if you're even like a PC gamer, if you've always been a PC gamer, like not in like an elitist way, just like you happen to play PC games, you could be like 30 years old and you've never bought a physical video game. Maybe like 25, but like that it's just always been a thing. And like on obviously phones and iPads and shit, there's never been physical media. There was on PDAs though. You could get some physical like Palm Pilot games. Those are cool. Pocket PC.
Yeah. You say PDA, and I always think of public displays of affection, which are always physical, Tyler. So yeah, I just this idea, like I've seen so many people talk about like how they're killing this core childhood thing. I just disagree. It's a thing that you were remembering and nostalgic for, old white guy on YouTube, but that's not real anymore. That's gone.
Yeah, like you rode around the neighborhood on bikes and kids no longer leave the house. Welcome to the new millennium. Their childhood is different than ours was.
Yeah, I mean, my son still rides his bike, but it's not the same. It's just not the same childhood. Like, I think people impress upon the idea of children that their children will have the same childhood they had or some version of it. And it's just, things changed. A lot of things have changed, and technology, kind or unkind, has been a big driver of all of this change. Sharing a video game with your friend, like, just get real. That's just not happening.
You could join a Steam family share together with your friend, and then you guys can share the video games.
Also, the idea of this negative that, oh, I can't sell my used games anymore. Okay, I mean, that I get, but also, if you just are on Game Pass, then you didn't have to buy games and you can just play. Like you can create a different budgetary system where I'm sure you are going to be spending less than buying new games and then selling them for 30% by just having like Game Pass.
Yeah, but I never buy new games, Johnny. I will never spend $80 in a fucking video game. I look at let me look at my Steam wish list right now. Hold on, because the Steam sale is going on, and there are still games I won't buy. And they're like $12, and I'm like, that's really more of a $10 game. Johnny, I don't know, man. And like these are games that would be worth it that I would play. Let's see, what's in my thing? Gadonia is $1.50. You know what? I'm probably gonna buy that. Harvester right now, for the next 5 days. With this show might come out right at the end of this. Harvester you can get for $1.19, Johnny. You should buy that.
You should buy that, yeah.
Yeah, I've got all these like
play Harvester.
There's all these games that are like $13.49 for Jagged Alliance 3. And in my mind, I'm like, I really want to spend $10 for Jagged Alliance 3, not $14.
Okay.
There's so many games less than $80.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the idea, they're like, oh, I can't go buy this $80 game because I can't resell it now for $30. Look,
But I think
there
the idea
are
was that you would buy it, play it, and then the used market, at least back when I remember the used market in like Xbox 360 through PS4 era, like you could buy a game for 60 and then sell it used for like 50 after you played it. And if you have digital games, like there's no way you're getting that kind of like play a game for $10 type thing.
no, but with games like launching simultaneously on like Game Pass and stuff, I don't think people have been able to capitalize on that the same way. That's why I'm telling you, it's like 30% at GameStop is like what you were getting now. So I don't know. I think there's still a way
I don't think
to
the people
be
who are
like,
selling used games like that were selling to GameStop and getting like $20 for their brand new game, though. They were selling on
true,
eBay.
but also, what is the percentage of people who are treating games like that? Like, who is this a big negative for? Like 2% of the people who buy games?
No,
3%?
it's a loud minority, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So it's like,
there was a cheap way to play new games because the used market exists that will no longer exist. Because not every single game is going to get put on these Game Pass services.
No, but I think a lot of them are. And I think like the amount of games you're still going to be able to play is going to be large, is my point. So this whole thing being a negative, it's like, I agree that this is like a slight negative, but I don't think it's quite the negative that people are saying it is. Again, and everything that helps kill GameStop is a positive to me. So, and it's also not just a positive to me, it's a positive to people who actually make the video games, because media is in this weird place. Like movies and games are kind of in the same place where you either have to be an indie nothing that does really well, or you have to be GTA 6, right? A big, gigantic blockbuster Toy Story 5, like in order to hope you make money. You have to be one of these two things. There's no room for the middle anymore. The middle is gone. You can't be like a quirky mid-range movie or game that, I just want to make this like $40 or $50 game and like have it do fine. And I know it's not GTA 6, but we made it this way, and we want to publish it and take a chance on it. No, because video games cost too much money. There's no room to make that now. You have to make bangers or these little indie ones that don't cost very much. There's no room for the middle. And
I mean, I think there's a middle, especially on PC. I don't know.
Where's this middle?
Like,
where are games that fall between like, let's not take GTA 6 as our top, because $1 billion to make a video game is a wild extreme even in today's market. So like a $200 billion, where's the $10 million, where's the $20 million games?
It's high budget, technically indie games. So stuff like Pal World, which is an indie game because it's developed and published by the same company, but it still has a millions of dollar budget and it sells for like $30. There's the RuneScape open world crafting game. It's like a $30 game. It's an indie game developed by Jagex, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Dave the Diver is an indie game developed by like Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I think that kind of stuff lives in the middle. The stuff that is technically, like by a definitional stance, indie games, but they have such a big budget that everyone's like, all right, well, this isn't really a fucking indie game, is it, huh?
Yeah. No, I just felt like the middle was more, right? I felt like on the bell curve, I think there used to be a more even distribution, and I think now we are still like clogged at the ends.
I don't know. As someone I play a lot of that middle stuff because I don't really like the super polished AAA stuff, I think there's still a pretty big middle here.
You think there's a big middle? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll disagree. You guys let us know what you guys think. I don't spend time on a lot of indie PC stuff, so I don't see that. So I'm just playing console games.
How dare you?
I know.
Johnny, I want to say I don't care about game preservation. We've said this a couple times on the show. Obviously, owning a physical video game is not preserving shit. There are games out there that are like undumped, like weird old like computer games that people have never found, or they've had people pool up resources to buy the only copy that comes up for auction in Japan so they can dump it. That is preserving video games. Generally, if you're just a regular collector guy, you haven't preserved shit. Oh, well, I've actually preserved something because I dumped Dungeon of Doom. I have done more than most people listening to this podcast. I dumped an actual game.
You did it, Tyler. How does that feel?
It felt pretty good. I hear it's being advertised as the rarest video game ever now.
That's pretty cool. Hey, congrats on being a preservationist.
But if you own a game that has already been pirated by any group ever, like, we're good. Once the pirates have a copy of the game, we're good. And going from the 2000s forward, I bet basically every single game has been pirated, and we are basically good. I think Frank Cifaldi was just in an interview about the end of physical media, and he was saying, like, yeah, the only reasonable way to preserve video games is through piracy, which is correct, and I think is being done probably well enough. I'm sorry, I don't know what the modern day piracy scene is, because I don't mean this in a negative way, but I'm an adult now who buys video games. When I was like a 13-year-old with no money, of course I pirated video games. But I imagine they're doing a good job. The piracy scene always seemed to be pretty on top of things.
Yeah. I mean, it's piracy is sometimes the answer. Well, and we are in a weird place where, like, I used to be a little bit more strongly anti-piracy, and now, because of all streaming services and the way things have gone and just like the fuckery that's going on, I'm like, nah, just pirate shit again. Just never mind. Just even if you can afford it, who cares? Until they fucking figure out a good system, then you don't need to be at the whims of these people. And one of the largest negatives, as this ties into, I don't like Sony being able to turn off the faucet on things I own just out of the blue. I don't like the idea that something I bought could just be taken away from me. I've never liked that as an idea. That's a large drawback, and it's something that I don't think is built into the consumer rights codes yet, the laws that surround that. And I think this will be kind of a hot button issue as it goes on, especially with Sony, like I said, canceling all those movies out of the blue. What is this going to mean for video games when physical media goes away? There's going to have to be something to ensure that.
I mean, the stores already get shut off. The PS3 store is going away. The Vita store is going away. Like, oh, man, I bought so much shit on that PS3 store.
Yeah, but like, so what are your outlets? What are your options? That's what I'm saying. I think we're in a weird, like this, the digital age, people are like, oh yeah, like we've been here for a long time. This is still like relatively new in the world, especially when it pertains to things like law and protection. So how is that going to adapt to create an environment where consumers are at less risk? Because right now, I think the risk for consumers is high.
Well, I was actually talking to one of your friends over there in Silicon Valley, Johnny, and he told me about this thing called NFTs, where we could have true digital ownership of the things we buy. And it's going to be the future, let me tell you.
How's that working out?
Oh, it's super good. I was just talking about my Atari NFTs on the on the Discord. I did a price check. The Atari NFTs, the official Atari Corporation NFTs are worth around 4 cents right now, which is down from around 25 cents when I bought them, which means they went down about 80%, which for an NFT, I feel like that is super good. to only drop in value 80% in the crypto market where everything basically goes to literal zero. It's worth 4 cents. That's like something. A lot of this stuff is sub 1 cent.
Man, is it time to buy in?
I think the prices are high. I think Atari NFTs are really strong at 4 cents. I think it's time to sell. I think sell before it does go to zero.
What's the outlook for growth? Gosh. Anyways, I can't wait to collect licensing agreements from large corporations. That's what I'm trying to say.
And you know, I'm just gonna say, don't be like, oh, Sony took away these 500 movies that I definitely didn't buy on like a console. So I'm going to pirate everything now. Just like, okay, go pirate shit, but don't say it's because Sony took away movies that you never owned to begin with. Like you have like this very justified reason to pirate stuff if something in your account disappears one day, which is very rare currently. Like if stuff gets delisted from Steam, it's still in your account if you bought it and you can still download it. But like, I mean, whatever. Fuck corporations. Just pirate everything. Just don't like act like you're doing the noble moral thing by pirating stuff because something unrelated is having shitty stuff happen to it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I pirate things because Sony did this. Oh, did you have a lot of those movies? Oh, not a single one.
Yeah. No, I haven't bought movies since Blockbuster went out of business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because fuck, it's like, okay, if your stance is fuck corporations, pirate everything, I can respect that. If you come out at us with weak justifications, we're not interested in you.
Johnny, I've got a question.
Okay.
What will the last physical video game be on like a major console? Because I know there's going to be like PC stuff on SD card, whatever they'd have going on in the future. But the actual like licensed real physical video game, let's say for a Nintendo console.
It's going to be something stupid.
Absolutely.
Like people, it's not going to be a Mario. It's going to be like a Dance Dance Revolution, not Dance Dance Revolution, but it'll be something in that vein, right? Like one of these ongoing serialized yearly release games.
No way. I think there's no chance that it's a game that anyone's ever heard of. I think there's going to be so many shitty indie companies that are gunning to be the last physical Nintendo game release.
That's true.
It's going to go on for like years until they like forcibly stop it.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of happened with 3DS. That was like, this is the last game. No, this is the last one. No, this
Fragrant Story, guys. It's going to be so rare. It's going to be the last physical. Oh, they made another one. Never mind.
But don't you remember on the Wii U, like, and the Wii, you're like, oh my god, is this another?
They had
is this another
was it the
Just Dance
like
game?
Just Dance 2020 came out on the Wii, and I was just like shocked. Like a major game is still coming out on the Wii. What is happening?
Well, remember it came out. I forget which version came out on the Wii, but not the Wii U.
Yeah,
it was just
that
like,
was crazy.
What the fuck is happening right now? So that's why I imagine it could be like one of these dumb serialized games that just like, well, this is the last one because, and those Just Dance games still sell. Like I don't know if you guys know this, but the Wii is still a console that people buy and play. Crazy.
I saw a YouTube video where someone was it was like a game store advertising an $80 Wii. I'm like, shit, people are paying $80 for a Wii?
Dude,
what does a Wii U cost?
I think as collectors, we are a little bit snobby and we turn our nose up at the thing at the Wii. But I think we severely underrate as like a player system how deep and how many people just played the Wii. Like it is the best selling console of all time for a reason, right? Was it the best selling console or close to?
I mean, it didn't beat like the DS, I don't think.
Okay.
Or the PS2.
I like home console.
Yeah.
But anyways,
it's up there.
The amount of fucking Wiis that sold and then have been resold, like Wiis keep selling. It's insane. Like a lot of people buy their Nintendo, keep their Nintendo forever. Wiis like got sold, resold. People buy them Wiis. I don't understand it, but yeah, I just think there is more people who are playing Wiis still than whatever you think the number is. It's probably bigger than you think. Is my point.
I'm also definitely underestimating the amount of people who buy a Wii to play both Wii and GameCube games, because in my brain I'm like, oh, a GameCube game, I will play that on a GameCube. But people are like, oh, multifunctional. This is way more practical than owning a GameCube and a Wii.
Oh, and it's just got a little bit better hardware than the GameCube. So yeah, you should really probably play your
dude.
I don't know if that's still true, but
some nerd is gonna be like, oh, the digital video output of the GameCube. Let me tell you about these pixels right now. And also having to use the Wiimote to select the GameCube app on a Wii is fucking garbage. I hate that.
It is garbage. But for ease of getting onto HDMI, the Wii is available.
Do Wii's have HDMI? I thought Wii's just have a component cable. Maybe like the later print Wii's have HDMI.
I thought there was an HDMI change.
I'm sure. Maybe it was in production.
Maybe I'm hallucinating that. I just remember it was way easier to plug my fucking Wii in than my GameCube when I was hooking things up. Because I was still hooking up my GameCube because I wanted to have my Game Boy player on there so I could play my GBA games.
Oh yeah, another good reason to have a GameCube still hooked up, guys.
Yep.
GBA player. Everyone's still using that. Or just emulate everything.
Just emulate everything. All right. Tyler, you got any more positive negatives? Anything else you want to say about the death of physical media? Is it over? Is this really the end? To quote Zelda, is this the end? Is this happening?
Someone I talk with a lot, Thane, in the Greg Discord, basically said, like, yeah, kids are not going to grow up with discs and cartridges, and I think this is basically going to be the end of physical game collecting as a major category, which is something I've always agreed with, and I still strongly agree with that in 20 years game collecting will be a smaller hobby than it is now.
I don't know. Probably.
As
I can see that
Johnny, as
definitely being
the
an outcome.
I was like the last generation of kids that grew up collecting stamps, and it was specifically because my grandfather was a stamp collector and got me into it. He brought me to shows and stuff. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was buying like just stuff I liked that was like literally like a handful for $1 type bullshit. But like no one collects stamps anymore because who uses stamps, right? I think we're getting there. And I've said this before. I think video games will be like vinyl records in that there are boutique limited, like, oh, buy my vinyl record. It's got splattered green on it and it's limited to 250. That cannot sustain like a hobby like trading cards or something. Having, we printed 1 billion new Pokemon cards creates a much bigger market than, I'm Taylor Swift, I released 250 vinyl records for 250 for like 100 people who are going to buy 2.5 copies each.
That would be like even the record store day releases of Taylor Swift albums I think are like 3,000. So just
all right. So limited run games numbers, like original limited run games numbers.
Yeah, but that's like record store day exclusives. All the Taylor Swift albums are selling in the millions and or hundreds of thousands at least in Targets.
So games are here forever then. Do you think there will be actually, so we spoke about like who's going to release anything on the PS3? Like there's no homebrew for the PS3. I'm sure there's some dumb homebrew on the PS3, but no one is like releasing a game on PC now. And they're like, oh yeah, let's port it to PS3. That totally makes sense. So there's basically not going to be any PS3 games. And I'm sure that's going to be the same for PS4 and PS5 after an extent. Do you think that physical PC will come back? Because I see people on game collecting, they're like, bye, Sony, I'm part of the 15%. I'm going all PC now. And it's like, great, welcome to PC. We have Steam and GOG. They're both digital. But do you think that modern games will ever have a resurgence releasing on DVDs and USB sticks as physical media when these limited print companies need to release something physical? Because, yeah, PC collected, like, physical PC stuff is not collectible. Like right now, like if you have anything from the PC that came out since like the 2010s, holy shit, does no one care about that?
Oh, absolutely they don't.
But it would be interesting when there's nothing to collect on consoles anymore and you can't make a Nintendo Switch cart and you can't print a PlayStation disc. Will people be playing more on PC and buy physical PC games? I don't know. I feel like because it's so much easier to make a PC game that there will be a small resurgence, but I also see physical games just going away by the time that happens.
I think if physical games go away, that PC is not going to be the savior. I don't know if I can buy that. I think people will just learn and adapt, and people will just be like, oh, well, and more things will become Steam boxes. Like, hey, your Apple TV also equipped with a Steam box. Just play all your video games right here. I think that's more likely than a physical resurgence of
I mean for like the collector people, for like the 2% that Sony absolutely does not care about whatsoever, like the stuff that's marketed specifically to them.
No.
Not for like real people. Obviously real people are never going to buy physical PC games.
No, I think it is more likely we get like boutique releases of like a USB stick in a Switch 2 case than we get like
a USB stick in a Switch 2 case. What the hell is that?
I'm just telling you of what I'm saying a thing that is unlikely. I think that is more likely than collector's editions being pushed over to the PC for physical collectors to move over to. Like you're just going to see codes and boxes to satisfy those needs before, like the people who are just dying to have physical. I don't really see that. Though there was just some game that was digital only forever, 35 millimeter or something, or 50 millimeter. I forget which one. There's a game. It was like a post-apocalyptic game for the PC that was digital only. That it keeps popping up in my ads that they've finally done a physical release. But yeah, I don't really see PC being the bastion. I think it's more likely people will figure out a way to homebrew and print on old systems like the PS3 and PS4, and get those out before they move over to PC.
All right. Anything else we got to say? What are we FOMO buying anything now that physical media is dead and the game collecting hobby's over?
That's a whole
and
other
it's all going to
episode.
zero?
It's a whole other episode. I have to think about what you should be FOMO buying stuff. Like what now that the end is here, what are you FOMO buying? I don't have a list yet.
So I also haven't talked to anyone, and I haven't seen anybody like explicitly FOMO buying stuff. It's all been people going like, fuck Sony, I hate you. Because I was hoping to go on like Reddit and be like, check out, I just bought all the Rule of Roses because now they're not going to make any more. Like, great guys, they were never going to make any more Rule of Roses. No one cares. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I would feel more of an urge to like buy up something that I'd had on like some long time want list. But it's more like it's just been so obvious that this has been coming. Like, I feel like I've been preparing for this for 10 years now, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Again, also, you don't need to FOMO buy here. Like we kind of talked about this, collector's going to collect, right? That's just what they're going to do. Here's like a hard truth about me. If you put me on my computer and you tell me to open up eBay and just start looking up games, I will find something to buy, Tyler. I don't need to FOMO buy anything. I will find, if I sit at my computer or on my phone long enough, I will find something to buy.
I mean,
just will happen. Like
at a price you want to pay. Like, it's not all going to be $1,000. You'll find something you want to buy at a price you want to pay.
Yeah, like I didn't buy it and just got away. Actually, it was the Jetsons Way with Words on the Intellivision, right? I don't care about the Intellivision. I was just like, oh, that's like a pretty good price and that's a unique IP. Like, it's interesting to have Jetsons game, and this one is like underpriced. Should I just buy this right now? Maybe I should buy this. And that was me sitting here with you for 10 minutes. And I just came across something. I was like, well, maybe I should buy that. Oh, Diner is the sequel to Burger Time. Burger Time had a sequel. Should I buy that? This is just today in 20 minutes when we were just sitting here. Collectors will you don't need to FOMO. There's always going to be stuff to buy. If you want to keep collecting, there are so many games. There's so many things you don't know or have never heard of. There are so many avenues for you. Don't FOMO into any of this. Now, people will, and it will create some weird pricing. But again, if you start to see that, don't buy into the FOMO. That's probably the wrong time to be buying.
Yeah, I think we'll come back next episode and we'll try to find some of the weird price spikes. I mean, something's got to spike because people are FOMOing, right?
Yeah. So I mean, something will. I want to know what it is. Is it PS5 games? Like what is going to be the thing that moves?
See, I wonder if people are waiting for like the Switch announcement and then they're going to start buying up all the Switch and Switch 2 games. Again,
does it create that wave that we've talked about? Like, physical media is over. I can now complete the set. Oh my God, if I don't get these truly are the last. Got to go get them all now.
I think you have to think of when we transitioned out of CDs and DVDs. And, you know, like Blu-rays were a thing, but like they were never as big as DVDs. And
yeah, but you could keep playing your DVDs and Blu-ray players.
Yeah, no, I know. I just mean that basically, essentially starting in the 2010s, people stopped buying DVDs and music too. And so they are technically still produced, and they're going to be produced a lot longer than video games. But the idea that physical media is dead, like, and you had to like, oh, I have to go buy all my favorite CDs and movies. If you like walked into someone's house and they had like a movie DVD, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, they stopped producing movies and you have The Lost World, Jurassic Park on DVD. You're so lucky. No, it's mass produced in the millions, and they will still be out there because it's not like everyone's impulse was, oh no, all the media is going digital, I have to hoard it. Everyone's impulse is, oh no, all the media is digital now, I guess I don't care about physical media anymore, so that stuff's all worthless. And yes, there's the rare collectible DVDs and rare collectible music, but for the most part, run-of-the-mill physical media does not have significant value, and that will be the case for video games as well.
Yeah, it is coming back around though, right? Where people are like, oh, I like, because they're so upset with streaming services and all these digital platforms, everything being digital only and feeling out of control of what they own. There has been like a strong resurgence of people wanting to get back into owning their own stuff. again,
I think there's articles about like low tech Gen Z and things like that. I think all of that is overblown, and for the most part, people are fine scrolling TikTok on their phones and not owning things.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm here to find out what it is. How long have we been going? Did we talk about that for
Like
over
an hour?
Man.
Oh, wait, we did forget. Make sure to sign the change.org petition. Don't kill the disc. Tell Sony to keep physical PlayStation games. It has 79,998 signatures. We're refreshing live. We're going to hit 80,000 live here. The last signer was 5 seconds ago. This is it, guys. Oh, man. We're going to be here live for 80,000. And once we hit 80,000, Sony has to listen to us, right? They're going to bring back the entire used game market just for these 80,000 people.
Hold on. Just can you tell me again? I know we discussed it earlier, but could you just say how many people pre-ordered GTA 6?
35 million.
Oh, and how many people signed change.org?
Well, it's almost 80,000. It's not 80,000 quite yet, but I feel we're seconds away.
What percent is 80,000 of 35 million?
I mean, it's not about the percent. It's about sending a message, Johnny. This petition seems like it is almost definitely written by an LLM, which is very funny that you didn't even care enough to write your own petition.
Yeah.
Oh, no. All right. Johnny, we wanted to talk about, since this is a physical media episode, we wanted to talk about some weird physical media.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about other media that's dead.
All media is dead.
Or weird.
The concept of media will be dead soon. Books weirdly seem like they'll always be here. That's a really simple form of media. We're way into books. But also electronic stuff, ugh.
Yeah.
Like newspapers, get out of here. Books, we're in. All right, Johnny, I wanted to just have... We're going to have this be the whole episode, but then physical media ended, and it seemed better to have a combo episode.
Yeah.
So it was the original idea for the episode was games you forgot about. Like, it was almost like stuff that is people don't include in sets because it's in like a little bit too weird of a format. But I like the idea of that. I like the idea of physical media that people don't even consider media because they don't like the medium it is transmitted on.
They don't like the steps or the hurdles that are imposed. But stuff still exists.
Stuff still does exist. In fact, if I wrote the source code for a game in like a notebook by hand and gave it to you, that is physical media of that video game.
It is.
It will take a couple more steps for you to run that than putting a cartridge in a console. And there's printed video games. Some of my favorite video games are printed basic games. I think the earliest significant ones I own are The Devil's Dungeon, which was sold in a little folio, and it just is like, if I'm remembering correctly, The Devil's Dungeon is like this, but it's just a folio and it has basic code that you would type into like your TRS-80 or something to play the game. It's a very simple dungeon crawler. And then Hunt the Wumpus, perennial favorite of Collector's Quest podcast, that was originally published in Creative Computing magazine. And so the quote-unquote physical media for that game is the issue of Creative Computing where that was first published. And I think that's an awesome piece of game history. I don't care that it's not on a cassette. I think owning the magazine is just as good when it comes to that stuff. And no, I can't run it in a computer. I have to type it in. But this is still where it was published, and it's the real deal, in my opinion.
I don't disagree. It's a real thing. It exists. There's no fighting that. People don't want it to be real. But
people don't want it to be real. They're fighting me. They're like, no, that magazine doesn't count. You can't own Hunt the Wumpus. It belongs to everybody. The source code is out there.
No, they just say that like, oh, that's not really a physical game because you have to type the code in. I'm like, well, the code is printed on media. We will talk about other examples where this kind of thing is true. It's like the code is on something. It is read. That code is information that makes the game play. So what is it then?
Exactly.
which is different than a code in a box where you put in a code and then it triggers a download. This is the actual code of the game, the same stuff that would be on a chip. Discs notoriously don't have chips, but people never want to get into that discussion about, oh, my Nintendo game has chips and all the stuff is stored there. It's like, oh, well, it's just ones and zeros on this disc also, but it doesn't have any chips. That's okay. But when it's a card that I have to scan, then it's a problem.
So conversations like this are they have convinced me to accept more forms of physical media as quote unquote counting or being worth collecting, like rewritable discs, like the Nintendo Power cartridge, the Flash cartridge that I was talking about earlier. And it's because, like, you think of the Intellivision Amico games that were released a couple years ago, which are still for sale somehow, by the way. Those Intellivision Amico games, they're an NFC card, and on that NFC card, there's no security, there's no game code. It is literally just a URL that tells your Intellivision Amico, a console that does not exist, where to download the files for the game. So the files for the game are not on the disc. It's a Nintendo Switch keycard. It's worse than a Nintendo Switch keycard because it doesn't even have any security. It's literally just a URL emblazoned onto a card. That is not physical media. But let me get into my first thing here. There are Famicom Disk System games that you could only get by taking a rewritable disc to a station in like a Lawson, or like a Japanese convenience store, and you would rewrite disc data. That was the only way to get it. You couldn't buy these games in the store. And then when you did that, you would get a little folded up manual and a new set of stickers from the machine, and you would replace the stickers on that disc, and you'd have a little manual to go with it. And so, yes, in a sense, these aren't like real games that you could have bought from the store, but also this was a way the game was distributed, and it's weird. It kind of falls in this weird middle ground where, like, yes, the physical object exists, but the way you got it was very strange because you had to destroy another game to get your new game, basically. But it did come with a physical manual and stickers, which I think is very notable because there's a physical component to these quote-unquote digital-only games. So they're not completely, like, in the sky like some digital games are. And I think they are very underappreciated. And I think The Legend of Zelda and probably Metroid these are like some of the most underappreciated variants of them. So forget about the disc itself, because the disc will just look like any other disc once it's written to and has the stickers on it. But you could actually get the stickers for Zelda discs and like Metroid discs and all these other games, and the manual, the rental exclusive manual for these disc writer games. And like a set of stickers and a manual costs like $50. They're like not that expensive. And I think this stuff is super cool, Johnny. I'm so in on this. Every time I see a really nice Zelda stickers and manual set for sale, I want to tell people about it, and then no one ever cares. They're like, oh, I'll just get a real copy of Zelda.
Yeah.
It's Zelda. Why don't people care? It's Zelda. It's cool.
I think if you have some of these, it's interesting. They also have like the Super Famicom one. Like you could get basically Super Mario World the same way, where it's just like, oh, I wrote this before it was even released. I don't know. If you actually have the rental stickers, do you think it's cooler if you put them on the disc or if you just have the manual
definitely
and the
just
stickers
to keep those unpeeled? That's way cooler unpeeled, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I was asking, like, do you want to do it, and do you want to see him put it in a little rental box and have like, this is the thing that goes on my shelf?
Nope. I just have them loose with like some various papers, and who knows where those are at this point.
Yeah. Should have stuck them. Stick your stickers, okay? Oh my God, that's what stickers are for. You don't stick your stickers?
I wouldn't hate if you did that, because they aren't that rare, but like once you put them on a disc, it's like, all right, well now it's just like any other disc. Like maybe it has the wrong date code now because you didn't put it on a disc that had the same date code as a real Zelda, but all right.
Yeah. No, I think having unstuck is better as well.
Some more. There's a bunch of these disc writer exclusive games. I think some of the more interesting ones, Katik Hit Mario Brothers. Whew. All right, K K Takita Mario Brothers, which is I forget it's like the translation of it is almost like New Mario Brothers. So Nintendo's been having this stupid naming convention for a long time. But this is the Famicom Disk System version. Like, it's very similar to Mario Bros. Classic Series that was released in Europe, which was the highest quality NES version of the original Mario Brothers. And this was a Famicom Disk System game very similar to that. Except, in between the stages, I love this. One of my favorite things that Japanese games do, it would have ads for a specific brand of food. You would get like fried rice advertisements in between playing your Mario Brothers game.
Oh, fantastic.
And then if you scored high enough, the game would give you a code that you could redeem for Super Mario Brothers sealed pack of trading cards. You could get a Super Mario Brothers 3 keychain, or you could be entered in for a drawing to win a copy of Super Mario Brothers 3.
Damn, that's pretty legit. I'll take it.
These discs are not expensive in Japan, and I don't know if it's because they're all fake, but I think like you can get a disc of this for like $20. So I don't know if it's common or if they're all fake, and it's hard to tell because disc writers, like, you could obviously these are just discs you could write, and you could probably just print off some stickers, but I don't know how to tell. Maybe you have to break out the loop and look at how it was printed, how the stickers were printed compared to some other Famicom games.
That sounds like a lot of work.
You know, I did this. Let me talk about some fakes recently. I have a fake copy of Biohazard I found in my collection.
Oh yeah,
man, the seal, like the seal is a few millimeters off, like the PlayStation tear strip. But like looking at it, I look at it, I'm like, man, if this thing didn't have an obviously fake sticker, I would have like no idea, because it's like a real mint copy of Biohazard. Like even the spine card, they found one with like a mint spine card, like. It looks good because it's a real copy of the game. It's just the seal that's fake, obviously. But then they also printed a fake sticker. And the way I found out this, my sticker color is slightly wrong. And I looked at, it's like, I forget what the sticker is. Is it like a warning sticker about Resident Evil? I forget what the sticker actually says. I think they printed a sticker from like a PS2, one of the PS2 Resident Evil games that has the same sticker, but it's a slightly different color. And they printed that and stuck it on this PS1 game. And they did that because they didn't have a real sealed copy of Biohazard to fake the sticker from, but it's the same sticker that's just on the case of a PS2 game, which probably cost them $20. So they're out here faking stickers to put on their fake sealed games. And also I saw on like in Japan, someone had identified some fake prototype and sample games. They had literally matched up 1-to-1 the real game that was on like completed auctions in Yahoo and the prototype, and they mashed up like all the different wear patterns and things in the back. They're like, this is the same game. They just printed a fake sticker for a prototype and put it on here. So be careful buying stuff in Japan. They're making fake stuff for American collectors who are willing to spend money on stupid bullshit. And like, you already need to be careful because when they sell quote unquote new unopened games, like obviously a lot of those are opened because they just find nice copies and don't send good pictures because they know you don't really have any way to return them.
Yep, you are. There is inherent risk when you buy stuff from Japan.
Speaking of, one of the rarest, so this is a weird thing. Clu Clu Land, Welcome to New Clu Clu Land is a Disc Writer exclusive. And I also see it pop up on like, what are the rarest Famicom Disk System games? But because it is just a Disc Writer game, like people just write the discs and there's fakes out there. So it, like, I would feel like if someone had an original copy of Clu Clu Land on Famicom Disk System, I would count that as a really cool collectible to have, even though it's a rewritten disc and all that. But to have like a modern fake of it is obviously not collectible. So what do you do with that in a set? I'm not sure if this has stickers. I feel like the ones I see of this usually don't have stickers, but it might have stickers.
I don't know. It's a weird case.
It's just a cool thing. And then the other thing that you mentioned with these Disc Writer games are that some games had Disc Writer releases before their very common retail releases, like 3D Hot Rally.
Yeah, get 3D Hot Rally. It's a Mario game.
So if you want the first print of that, it would technically be a disc writer release rather than the physical release.
That's what you want, right?
Do we care?
I don't think we care. It is still interesting. I don't know if I care to own it, but I think it's interesting to know that that is true.
I honestly, the discs are so hard. Like, obviously, there's no difference between a disc that was written in 1987 versus a disc that was written last week. So that's really hard to judge the value of. But what I do think are the ones that you can get physical stickers and manuals of, because they are unique manuals. They're printed in entirely black and red, or maybe they're just red. I forget. So they're very different from the retail manuals. I think those are cool. That's basically the part I'm going to recommend collecting out of all this. Go get the disc writer manuals. They are not expensive at all.
Okay. Anything else on this disc writer area that you want to get into?
That's all I got.
Okay. I'm going to talk about something weird.
Oh?
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into a lot of length about this because, it doesn't need it. I mean, we could go into a lot, but how much do you know about the Barcode Battler?
The Barcode Battler. I feel like that was an entire genre.
It is kind of that. The Barcode Battler is like one that's like released by Epoch, but there's one by like Sunsoft. There are a bunch of barcode scanner games. So I said Barcode Battler. Really, I should have said, what do you think about barcode scanner games?
As a kid, I thought they were going to be the coolest thing ever, and I never had one.
Yeah. So, like Bandai had the Bandai Detach, I'm not joint ROM system in 1992. It was a barcode system game. They had unique games, but they also had like properties you've heard of. And this is basically a card with a code on it that you would run through like a credit card. You'd swipe, much like an e-reader, which we'll get to later. And those cards had data, and it helped you play games and added things to it. You had Dragon Ball Z was in there, Yu Yu Hakusho, Ultraman, Gundam, Crayon Shin-Chan, Oroto Poi Poi. I don't know that one. But there was multiple properties that were in here. So it was a phenomenon in Japan that did not really reach here. And then like that one, the Bandai one, then like led into the Barcode Battler by Epoch, and that was pretty cool. Like you were scanning barcodes on like cereal and toothpaste and all kinds of other weird things to generate monsters. But then the Barcode Battler 2, they also had properties that were in there. So there are Mario games in the Barcode Battler 2. Did you know this? Did you know there's like whole Mario games you don't own?
No. What Mario games don't I own? I need to own all the Mario games.
Super Mario World Barcode Battler. So it comes with a set of cards. There's a Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart also has a Barcode Battler game. What is it? Dragon
What the
Slayer
hell is
has
this?
one.
What is this shit? Why don't I own this?
Yeah, they are cool. So
it comes in like a cassette, but it's not even like a pack of trading cards. It comes in a plastic cassette case. And I think the cards, they're not cardboard cards. They are plastic. They're like credit cards. Yeah. So,
yep. And you see them all over. There is a Zelda. Okay, Barcode Battler. You telling me you don't want Link? You don't want Zelda? Who are you? If you don't want a Zelda.
I think we need this. This counts as a Mario game. I think you need to own the Barcode Battler 2 set for the Super Mario World.
Legend of Zelda. Let's go. There's a whole thing in there. These things are pretty interesting. Once you swipe it, it like generates the monsters, generates code into the game. I like the idea of the Barcode Battler as a system is weird. Have you seen one of these things, Tyler?
Like the electronic things, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like a small LCD screen, like think Tiger Electronics kind of form factor with a credit card slider bolted to the front of it. That's what it looks like. but a worse screen somehow than like one of those Tiger games.
And like they I mean, those things are all different things. You could scan. So they came with a special card that you would scan that enabled you to scan any
Yes.
barcode in real life. So you like bring it to the grocery store and you like get
That's
like,
where the cereal and stuff comes in. Yeah,
monsters and stuff. Yeah. And there was a Famicom game. There's a cable that can connect a barcode battler to a Famicom, and there's a specific game. I think it's called Barcode World. That I don't, dude. I've never played it because it's a freaking barcode scanner game. But it's something.
Yeah. I mean, Barcode Battler 2 could interface with the Famicom, the Super Famicom.
Oh man, there's a Super Famicom game.
Yeah. It could just enter. There was an interface for it, and I can't find.
That's so
called.
weird.
They said it exists.
Barcode Battler Senki Super Senshi Shatsugeki Seo for the Super Famicom, and Dragon Slayer 2. It would interface with Dragon Slayer 2.
Yeah, that like,
this is so weird.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
there's like 10
Street
Super
Fighter?
Famicom games that interface with the Barcode Battler 2. I only knew about the Famicom game.
Yeah, you want Street Fighter? There's Street Fighter cards. Some of these cards are very expensive, like the independent ones. If you search for them on eBay, if you type in Barcode Battler cards, yeah, you want Street Fighter from 1992? Okay, there's a bunch. Some of them are like foil, some are not. Like the combination of games and cards all in one, it's very weird. And it definitely set the stage for what the e-reader would try to be in America, because this thing never took off in America. Like they couldn't find a way to ever get it to us. And so it just never worked until the
I was certainly they advertised it to me because I remember thinking the idea of scanning barcodes to get something was the best, because I like collecting stuff, and I just thought about like, oh my god, I can go to the grocery store and I can collect so much stuff.
Oh, this is the perfect game for video game collectors. You walk around and collect things. It's like Pokemon before Pokemon.
And like they probably think
collecting
I'm like a crazy person or a terrorist, just like going around with this little weird shaped thing, scanning all the barcodes in the store.
Yep. If you want to be a degenerate, there are graded copies of some of these codes that you can go buy. Don't do that. Yeah, try to get yourself a complete set with whatever game you want. They do come in, like Tyler said, a little cassette box, but there's some individual ones that are cool. There's also blank barcode cards that you can use. I'm not sure how those integrate or like what you put onto the blank ones. So kind of strange.
I'll also say finally about these stupid barcode scanners. The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes, the Super Famicom exclusive Spider-Man game, you could unlock special content by scanning barcodes on that game.
That sounds amazing. So the idea, if you were one of these people who think that these card games, these scanning these codes doesn't count, I disagree with you. There again, it's code. It creates the game. I don't know what else you want. It's no different. It's just the information is just stored in a different way. The way, again, a Nintendo cartridge is different than a disc. These are just different storage methods for your data. Again, doesn't create a download, doesn't go to the cloud or anything. The code is right there.
So Johnny, there's, in addition to the Famicom Disk System Disk Writer, which would basically rewrite your floppy disks, they had the Nintendo Power cartridges for both Super Famicom and Game Boy. And again, you would bring these into a convenience store, and they had like, these weren't like, you didn't overwrite the contents of the disc. They had like 7 or 8 slots. And I don't think that they didn't come with like stickers or anything. You would like, the front of the cart was like blank and had spots, I think, to write down what was in each slot. I don't think I've ever seen one of those cartridges actually filled out. But the interesting thing with these is that there were exclusive games to this Nintendo Power service. And there was like, I don't think it was to these, but like the Satellaview had a bunch of exclusive stuff that people find by like buying old Satellaviews on Yahoo and going through it. And they're like, oh shit, we found some new broadcast that was never archived before. I don't think you're going to find anything new on these Nintendo Power cartridges. But what is maybe a little bit sort of interesting is that there are some exclusive games to it. And I tried
Yeah.
looking up a list of exclusive games, and like a third of the list was games that were like kind of exclusive and didn't really count. So I think the most popular game that was released through the service was Fire Emblem Thracia 776, which,
Hmm.
yes, it was this kind of Nintendo Power Digital exclusive, but the version everybody thinks about is the collector's edition, which it technically comes with one of these Nintendo Power cartridges with it preloaded onto it, but it was a physical collector's edition that came with the media, so like it's not really like some digital exclusive. Also, later on, the game had its own physical release anyway. So fuck those lists. A couple things that are interesting. There are like 8 different Picross games for the Super Famicom exclusive to this cartridge, and if you go on eBay
So many.
and look for one of these cartridges, people will be like advertising them, and they're like $100 to $200 if they have some of these exclusive games on here. Even like these stupid Picross games. And I don't think these cartridges were that expensive that long ago. And also, they do have a box, by the way. There's a special box for these Nintendo Power Flash cartridges. So make sure you get your Flash cartridge complete in box.
I think it's worth it just to, like, even if you don't have one of the unique games, I think it's worth it to own one of the Flash card carts. I think they're cool just to have around, like, just as a point of history. And if you have a cool game on it, even better. A unique game, even better than that. But yeah, these count. These are real. These are things that people don't think about. This is Nintendo history, and we act like Nintendo never had like these download services, and they were like way well behind the time on everything. And a lot of stuff they were like barcoding, like they pioneered some stuff. They took some swings. Nintendo has always taken some swings. They didn't always pay off, but yeah, they were trying things.
Yep, I mean, I've got a couple of the Super Famicom ones, and I've got one of the Game Boy ones. They're not that expensive. The ones on eBay I saw were like $100, $200, but I can't imagine they're actually that expensive in Japan.
Well, and there was some version of the Satella games that you could get to and like have those downloaded, which was cool. You know, like you could have I can't remember if some of the ones were released in the Nintendo Power Stations where you could get like, I don't know if you could get like BS Zelda, for instance, but that like, there are cool games that you could have on that little cartridge and be like, I own something weird. It's not fake. It's not like a pirated copy.
Yeah. So I'm looking now. So the cartridges, they're like $20, and they do have instruction sheets, which people are selling for like $25.
They're like blue and white, aren't they?
No, they're actually, well, yeah, they're kind of red, blue, and yellow. I don't know if they're full color. It looks like they might be full color. Maybe they switched. I see that instruction sheet number 5 for Game Boy does not look very colorful, but number 8 does look colorful. So I think they might have added color over time. And then the Game Boy cartridge, complete in box for like $50. It's a cool thing. Who has these? I mean, people listening to the show probably have these, but
maybe a couple.
I think they're cool.
But this is just stuff that people don't really look at or get into. Tyler. Right. I'm going to continue on my codes on cards. I mentioned it briefly. Also, just going back to Barcode Battler real quick. The
Barcode Battler episode, guys.
Yeah, there are exclusive cards. This is like the collector stuff I like. Like, oh, like where can you find them? Oh, there was these packs you bought. Like, but there was also some competition ones. There was promos that you like were just handed out. There was cards in magazines. There's just some fun stuff out there that you can find if you wanted to be a collector, like limited edition versions and stuff. There's just weird stuff and there's like some of this stuff you can just go buy and you can have the whole set and it's easy, but there's also like weird collectory stuff for it too. Mostly in Japan. So be careful. However, Pokemon e-reader games, Tyler, I've talked briefly about this. Let me explain. First, before we get into the Pokemon of it all, e-reader. E-reader was actually going to be called the Pokemon e-reader for Nintendo, and then Nintendo liked the idea, so they expanded it to this idea. So there are e-reader versions of many classic Nintendo games that you can go buy, and they come in little packs. You can buy Excitebike, you can buy Donkey Kong, and there's just little cards you slide in your e-reader attached to your Game Boy Advance, and you slide 5 of these cards. You get the code off of it, and then it produces the game, and then you launch the game. right? It collects the data, assembles the data, packages it, and then you're playing it. Then you get to play the game. That's cool. Like, I thought that was awesome when the e-reader came out. Then, like with Super Mario Advance, they added game pack exclusives like, oh, here's some new levels to Super Mario World, or Mario 3, which is awesome. Like, oh, who doesn't want more levels? I want more levels and new items. Pokemon games, they added these compilation packs, same things. Animal Crossing, they added a bunch of stuff with the e-reader cards. So you had games, you had accessories to existing games, and you had, characters that got imported. So kind of like an early version of like the NFCs, like Amiibo stuff. But you also had unique games, Tyler. Unique Pokemon games. Who does not want to collect Pokemon games? I think we've said they're very collectible, yeah?
This is the reason for the episode, basically. But yes.
Yeah. It's the reason for the idea, not the reason for the episode.
Yeah.
But Pokemon had many sets. The earliest being Quapolis, Skyridge, and Expedition. I don't think I got that in the exact right order. But this was a set. They're e-reader cards. So these are Pokemon cards. You would buy these. You would go to a card store, buy a pack of Pokemon, and they have e-reader strips. And some of these, if you assembled the right grouping of cards, would create games. And there are 8 to 13 games or something. I have a whole list of them. I don't want to get into a whole rundown. I could do 45 minutes on this. But there are unique games that you can assemble from these cards. But it also will give you Pokemon stats. There's like bonuses and stuff. There's some menu saves. There's like a life counter. There's a timer. There's a calculator. There's all kinds of things that these Pokemon cards produce. But these aren't games that you went out and bought. These are from the cards that came in it. The foils look like they have an e-reader strip. They don't. They didn't want people running their foils through the e-reader, so they just kind of faked those on the foil card. So it's only on the base level.
Wait, so there are two different variants of the cards, or parallels, whatever you card people call it. And
yes,
so the foil version, you didn't get like the primary draw of the set?
No. No, the primary draw of the set was still the Pokemon card. Because you can still play Pokemon.
Those cards are so fucking ugly because they have that e-reader strip on them. The draw of like the gimmick was the whole thing. You could put them through an e-reader.
Yeah. So, anyways, the first 3 sets have the cards that produce this selection of unique games, which I think is interesting. That if you own 5 of these cards, you've got a game about Magikarp. Well, okay, that's cool. There's also like this whole Pokemon adventure game that you play where you scan in other cards and then adds elements to like a build a game within the e-reader. Crazy. It's crazy. All this stuff exists. No one talks about it. These sets, unfortunately, are very expensive. Later sets, Pokemon Ruby and Emerald and stuff, and Battle and Battle Plus, these sets come out and they don't have unique games that are created. They've just got like, oh, you can see your Pokemon stats. You can run it through the e-reader. It still produces something, but it doesn't produce a unique game. I'm focused mainly on the idea that there is this set here that produced a game that you didn't know like existed. It's a mini game, but it's still a game. These 5 cards make a game. This is a GBA game that exists and it's Pokemon, but it exists only if you have these 5 cards. So that's pretty cool. In Japan, they have sets that are, 1-to-1 or almost 1-to-1s of these, but Japanese language. The cards also have them. I don't know if you can use the Japanese version of the card if there's like any code difference there, or if you have to always use English ones. They also have e-reader sets that never came out in America. There's a set called Versus for Pokemon, which has it's got like a unique Gengar and Charizard and stuff. So pretty cool set. Very expensive though. Everything about Pokemon is very expensive. And unfortunately, some of these cards are cheap. And in fact, when you got the e-reader, you were given in the box with your e-reader 3 of these cards. Is Machamp, Machoke, and Machop or something. Were in there. And you could see how these cards tied in. So you were given real Pokemon cards, not the e-reader.
Those didn't have a game on them, Johnny. It's bullshit. It was just like a
No.
Pokedex entry when you scanned those.
Yeah.
As I remember,
Yes.
a day one e-reader purchaser.
Yes, but they were the Pokemon cards to show you kind of what some of the functionality would be. But you got to see, like, my point was in the e-reader pack, they packed Pokemon cards, not the e-reader cards for Pokemon. This was Pokemon cards, which were of the e-reader set, which I believe were Aquapolis on that one. Anyways, it exists. It's out there. There are unique Pokemon games. And this whole idea of barcodes and scanning and the data being on a little card and then producing a game was something Nintendo tried very hard to make true, and not just Nintendo, but Japan, right? So from like 1991-ish to when did the e-reader finally die? Was it like 2002 or something? 3? They tried.
That would have been a very short life. 2002.
2003? What? Or was it longer than that? It's hard to
I'm
remember
hoping
now.
it lasted till 2004, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was released in 2002, discontinued
okay.
early 2004, and 2008
Okay.
in Japan. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, well, they were going stronger. So by the end of that, right, I'm just saying from 92 to 2004 in America, or in 2008 in Japan, they tried to work. It only really had this window in America on the e-reader. Barcode games and scanning just, we didn't want to do that. And now we wonder why we're going to this all digital future, because people are too lazy to even scan cards and put discs in systems anymore, Tyler. We've proven time and time again, we don't want to get up off the couch.
Johnny, I would love if cards still had e-reader kind of stuff. None of this like NFC stuff. I don't want to like boop a card on something. The physical act of swiping it like a credit card. I guess we don't swipe credit cards anymore, but you know what I mean.
We boop credit cards now too, Tyler. Damn
Cards
it.
are a physical thing. The idea of a card is that it's a fun physical thing, and we're not sitting playing Hearthstone on a computer. And I don't want to have some feature where I boop it against something. I want to swipe it, and then I can get some stupid digital thing like a mini game. But man, you bring that back, put a little barcode on the side of Magic cards, and maybe and like have like Magic related mini games, or even like a Magic Pokedex that pops up on my Game Boy Advance. Like I might start buying Magic cards again. I don't think that would be a draw for most people, though.
No, I think you would be a very limited audience who wanted that type.
But I think the idea of this is fun for worthless cards. Like the idea that you could boop like a worthless Pokemon, like the stuff that people literally open a pack and throw out, that they would have like some kind of fun utility rather than throwing them out. I don't know. Like, yeah, rare cards, like preserve them. Don't put a barcode on them, whatever. But I don't know. This sounds like it. I feel like Skyridge was a really fun idea.
Yeah, so let's see. I have some of them saved. There's a game called Ride the Tough where you a Rattata, a Shuckle, a Yanma, and a Cleffa. So none of these are like your super huge expensive cards, but that just makes a game. You know, that makes a game called, like I said, Ride the Tough. There's Berry Tree, Ditto Leapfrog, Follow Hoot Hoot, Rolling Voltorbs, Sneak and Snatch, Mighty Tyranitar, Jumping Duo, Harvest Time, Dream Eater. That one's big because that one is 7 cards big, and it has one of these stupid things where, God, what's his stupid name? Drowsy has a variant of him, and he has got an A and a B card where you have to have both of them to produce the game. It's very stupid. They look exactly the same, except there's an A or a B on the card.
I like that. That's fun.
Hold down Hoppip. There are Go Polyrath, Flower Power. There are so many games. Some like driving Corsello. That is 2 cards. Not hard. So, anyways, they exist. They're around. They're fun to collect. They're fun to think about. If nothing else, go watch a video. There's people who assemble it. There are at least 62 cards to make the Pokemon Adventure game. I don't know if you've seen that.
62 cards? What? You have to scan 62 e-reader cards?
Yeah. So you'd scan stuff in and they produce stuff in like this map game. This like little adventure game where your Pokemon was going through and you'd select your Pokemon and,
is this in English?
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds awesome. This sounds so much
Yeah.
better than the Animal Crossing stuff.
So, it's like you are assembling your own little Pokemon game. Kind of, it's like a side scroller. It's weird, but it exists now. Again, unfortunately, all this shit's expensive. Not all the cards. Some of them are common and uncommon, but even for common and uncommon Pokemon cards, which usually are nothing, these ones are a couple bucks each. But if you put that into the grand scheme of buying a Pokemon game, that's not too bad.
There you go.
Just don't try to buy the packs yourself. If you buy a sealed pack, you are going to be very sad when you see the pack of what does a sealed pack of Skyridge cost, Howard? Shall we look it up for the people and tell them how sad they'd be?
It's $1,300.
Did you look?
No, I made that up. That's probably low because Pokemon doesn't make any sense, and I don't get it, guys.
Let's see. A package of Skyridge. I got them at $1,700 right now.
Yep, that seems more correct considering looking at these freaking prices.
Yeah. You wanna buy don't buy sealed Pokemon product if it's unless you are collecting sealed Pokemon product, don't buy sealed Pokemon product. And if you buy Pokemon product, probably keep it sealed. Probably a better investment than opening it. Sorry guys, I know no one wants to hear that.
I think everybody knows that makes more sense.
Keep your cards sealed. Don't ever play with them, especially when they are from the year 2002. That's all I got on e-reader cards. That's the end of my barcode segment, really. They're just like you can scan cards to make games, which is fascinating.
I mean, I didn't have anything else to bring up, Johnny, except I did want to talk briefly about my favorite set of Pokemon games, the Edutainment Pokérom games, which I think, in a technical sense, because these games exist, makes PC the platform with the most Pokemon games.
I think you might technically be correct here.
I mean,
unless we count these e-reader games, which there's like 18 of or something.
There are 51 different Pokérom games, and they're all very similar, but they are distinct. So that's 51 games on PC alone just from Pokérom, in addition to some of the other weird PC stuff that's out there.
Dislike.
That's pretty good. So Pokemon, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a Game Boy franchise. No, it's a PC franchise because of these discs. These are trading card sized discs. If you didn't live through the early 2000s, there was this very brief period where manufacturers realized that they could make discs in, they could like cut the edges off discs and make them into slightly weird shapes, and they would still run in a CD drive. Not every CD drive, but a lot of like just computer CD drives. You had the, oh man, how do you describe this to kids? So you have this little cup holder that pops out of your computer. That's where you put a CD. And then the inner part of a cup holder would hold like a GameCube sized discs, even though almost nothing was ever distributed on that side of discs. And so these Pokérom discs are GameCube sized discs with the edges cut off to make them the same size as a trading card, because they knew that kids like collecting shit. And so there's 3 series. There was 2 regular series that you could just buy. I think you bought these in packs of 6 usually. And they came with like random Pokemon. So you have to like kind of, if you're buying it sealed, you gotta like look at what they contain. There was the Premier series. There was the Pokemon Movie 2000 series, and then there was the Mystery series. And when you're buying the Mystery series, I think when you bought the pack, you bought like it's like a blister pack of these discs, and you could see what half of them are, and half of them are covered up. So you couldn't see it. It was like a mystery. So you have to buy like multiple of these if you really wanted to catch them all, like a true collector would.
I hate that.
And my favorite part is that Mew, the Mew disc, was bundled with the Clue Finders 4th Grade Adventures Puzzle of the Pyramid. It's not super rare, but there is only one on eBay that has the manual. Most of these are like loose discs flying around without the manual, so you got to make sure to get your Pokérom games complete.
Well, some of them don't have manuals, right? Like, didn't they just come on a blister pack?
Well, what do they look like in the blister pack? I don't know. I thought these
just shows the disc. So if you search Pokérom Pikachu, you will see one, and it's on a blister pack, and it doesn't show the manual. It could be behind it, but it doesn't.
You
look
are
like it's
correct.
there.
Okay, so does only Mew has the little manual? Because I guess the Mew is like the taste of like, oh, you bought this 4th grade edutainment
Yeah, it was
game?
a
Well, let me
sample.
tell
It
you.
came with it. Yeah. So you want the ones on the blister pack, which you can get. There's like a Pikachu and an Eevee on blister packs that you can get.
Yeah, they were sold individually in blister packs, and then I guess they also sold like certain ones in like packs of 6. So you need to get as many of these as possible, guys, because the whole point is you got to catch them all, right?
Yeah, and for people who don't know what a blister pack is,
Oh
it's
no.
basically a piece of cardboard with the item you want, like an action figure, or in this case, this disc, sitting on the cardboard, and then a piece of plastic over and sealed to that cardboard. And it's called a blister because it hangs on that little plastic shell. That's the blister, and then it hangs on a hang tab that you would see in a store.
So on the carded ones are like 20-30 bucks each. I have never seen somebody post a full set of these Pokerums, and I want to see someone's Pokerum collection. I want to see all 51. Hold on, I'm looking on the internet right now. Does someone have the full set of Pokerum? I see someone has a full set of the Premier series. I'm not impressed. I want to see all of them. Get out of here. You don't have all the mystery discs? I don't even want to talk to you. You haven't completed the full set?
You said there's 51, but I see a Poliwhirl numbered 61.
That's just the number.
Oh, is that his dex
Pokemon
number? That's his dex number. Oh, okay.
That stuff drove me crazy as a kid. Because all like this is a side thing, but like they'd come out with these collections of like little Pokemon figures and stuff, and they would be numbered with the number of the Pokemon, but no set of Pokemon merchandise ever had all 150 Pokemon. So I could collect this and it'd be like, oh, Poliwhirl's 161, but I can't own all the numbers in between. That stuff would drive me crazy because I have autism.
That's rough. Man,
All right.
there are so many of these, like in other countries too. Like, oh my God. You could spend a couple $1,000s to get all these if you want.
Why hasn't somebody done that? Johnny. People
Some
will buy
Pokemon
a
collector has.
fucking Pokemon card that came out 2 years ago for $5,000 and they won't buy these Pokemon card sized things.
Yeah. Yes.
This is the kind of thing I would own. So specifically, the carded ones where it kind of takes up a lot of space. They're fragile and there's nowhere to really put them, except I guess you could hang them up. Like I would have like a giant box full of these and I'd look at it and be like, what the hell am I doing owning this stuff? That's how I feel looking at my e-reader cards, which are very similar. They are booster packs of cards that come on a cardboard card like this. And I look at my sealed e-reader cards and, I've got like 30 of them. They used to be so cheap. And I don't know what I'm doing with them in my life. I'm not going to open them. They're sitting in a box. I'm not appreciating them.
Yeah, you just need to get a stand so you can hang them up and really appreciate them.
I do. I have pegboards. I just have other stuff on my pegboard. I don't need my... And like that would probably wear out the hang tab too. I'd probably need to get like some kind of protector.
I just love that some of these are going to be more expensive based on the characters. Yeah, man, someone send me your list of all these. I'm in, Tyler. Let's start buying.
Good. That's all my life goal has been to inspire someone to collect the Pokerom games.
It's me. It's finally me. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive because there's exclusive ones to like other countries. I think is that what I read? That there was like 2 that were unique somewhere.
All right, well, go get them.
That might be incorrect information or something. Just like a Pokerom, the information about this stuff is not great.
Each one of these games has 200 plus questions on math, reading, and more. Who knows what those questions could be? Movie trivia, Pokemon trivia? Could be really fun.
I mean, I hope it's more. Buy them on card. What I want to don't cheap out and buy disc only. I want to see a carded collection.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'll talk to you in a year when you're done collecting all these, Johnny. Great.
Okay. Well, some of them may not come on card though. Like
the mystery ones you could only get sealed. I didn't see any of them on eBay, but yeah, they come in packs of 6, and I think like 3 of them are covered up. So good luck with that.
Oh man,
maybe you can get like one of those X-ray scanners and figure out what the printing is somehow.
I think I'm gonna just complete the set of ones that you could get. I'm gonna get the original Red Pack ones, and then I'll worry about the other ones later.
All right. All right.
Yeah. This is like I'm not starting at the Pokemon 2000 ones. I'm starting at the original ones.
You're an original. You're a real Pokemon originalist. What was the first Pokemon game you played? Oh, Pokemon Fire Red this year.
Yeah, this year. in the year 2026, I finally did it. I finally played a Pokemon game.
All
that
right,
wasn't
Johnny,
Pokemon Go.
Is that our episode? Physical media is dying, panic, and the hobby is going to be dead in 20 years.
Let's see. I mean, I have other notes. You talked a little bit about like magazine games, like just the idea that games used to like come just in magazines is fun. They used to like put out full demo discs too, sharewares and stuff that people never talk about unless it's like Doom. There's a lot of stuff that's like just physical media that got thrown away, or never counted because people are like, no, this doesn't really do it for me. I do have one other thing though, just the last thing, kind of in the same vein. And I did mention it briefly, but Tyler, what about Toys to Life?
Nope, throw them out. I hate them.
Toys to Life have content. Lego Dimensions has whole...
Guys, all you guys who think you have a Wii U set because you bought 100 DVDs, get out of here. You need to have every Lego Dimensions figure ever released.
There is unique content that is data from that item. It's not Skylander, which unlocks a thing. Like some of them are like just unlocks character, which I think is probably programmed, but some of it transfers actual data over that is not there. So I don't know. Does it count? Like,
I mean, if it just unlocks a thing, isn't that little piece of thing? That's still technically data.
Yeah. I mean, data that's not there.
Oh man, people are going to use that to justify their Switch 2 code on a disc game or like the game key cards. They're like, it technically is media on a cartridge. Yeah, it's just not the game.
Yeah. But this is like, all your amiibos launch little things into games and stuff. They do different things. I don't know. See, that speaks to me of a functionality of like, oh, we're just going to program something in the game that if statement, if NFC reader activates and this code, which we know is the NFC code for Link Amiibo, then produce item X. If not, produce a random item. That to me doesn't count as much as say like a Lego Dimension one, which might transfer like you need these to transfer their information to it to produce that. I don't know if that's technically how that works, but it feels different because again, full levels and stuff and different games got gated behind having certain characters. And packs.
Is that the game though, or is that just DLC? Because does the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack really count for the Xbox set?
Yes.
Okay, you're right. It absolutely does, and every single Lego Dimensions figure does too.
Yeah. Count them. So, anyways, just think about that there's this whole other subset. If you don't have a Lego Dimension set, now is the time. Now Lego has never been more hated on right now. I think this might be one of the most down times for Lego, at least in terms of social media. You have that whole bricks and minifigures scandal that happened. You've got the enshittification of Lego Star Wars. Lots of things happening that people are feeling pretty negative about Lego. Now is the time to buy while it's down.
All right, if someone wants to reach out to me and I have like a pretty great Wii U Lego Dimensions collection, and they're literally all displayed in my living room, and I kind of hate it. So, someone want to pay me whatever those are worth.
I got $12 for you. You just let me know.
Is Lego Dimensions really worthless?
No, it's not
worthless. It wasn't like it was expensive for me to buy it. I mean, I was buying them to play it. I was throwing away all those boxes.
Yeah. No, they're not all worthless. Some of them are more expensive than others. I haven't checked prices like it used to be. God, what is it? Not Half-Life. The one with Shell in it was
Portal. Yeah, it looks like the Portal figures alone are worth like $30-$40. It's pretty good. Looks like you could sell.
Just because people collect, but the value right now is based off the minifigure, not the activity for Dimensions. So if you wanted to just buy the discs, because the figures actually aren't the thing, it's just the disc they stand on is the actual information.
All right, I'm Holy shit. Someone bought a sealed Lego Dimensions set for $1,000 of like a bunch of like random junk. I don't get it. All right, it looks like I could probably sell it for a couple $100 just as a mixed lot, just because people want the minifigures, I guess.
Well, let me know which minifigure. Take a picture. Send them my way.
All right, I'll send them over to you. Because
Yeah,
it's
just
just
send
going to
me a
get mixed
picture.
in a lot if you don't take them, Johnny.
So, well, send me a picture and I'll see if I need, because I have a bunch sealed and I want some of them open. I'm like, but I don't want to open my ones that are sealed, you know.
All right.
Because I'm insane. All right, Tyler, that's all we got. We didn't want to go too deep. We really wanted to talk about the death or maybe death of physical media. Is it over? Is game collecting ending? Is this the slow death? Are we bleeding out, Tyler?
Yeah, it's over. Sorry, guy who just bought the $3 million Super Mario Brothers treasure
Tough
trove.
break,
Sorry,
dude. Jesus. Oof. Wonder if he could resell that now. Gosh. Probably would only get $2 million now.
So, like, what are his intentions? I don't know, because he's just like a rich guy. Is his intention to get like all this great stuff and then to sell it for more, or is he actually just like, I want to sit on my throne of all the best stuff and hobbies I don't care about?
I hope so. I hope he's just like, listen, nerds, I walked into your hobby and I took all of your best things. I am Britain. You are the rest of the developing world.
I feel like rich people are so financially minded sometimes, because like no one gets to be like a billionaire because they're happy with what they have, right? They're always just trying to get more. Like something is wrong in their brain. But if I was suddenly a billionaire, like I would love to do that. I would love to go into every hobby, buy the best thing, even if I don't care about that hobby at all, and I have all these people complaining about me, and just be like, "Yeah, what I bought the best Lionel train. What are you gonna do about it?" Like,
I would love to also like go in there and like have someone interview me about it and then purposely get facts wrong. Just-
like the guy who went on Pawn Stars and was like, "Oh yeah, Punch Out." The first guy's like Classy Joe, right?
Yeah. Well, like Logan Paul. Oh, yeah, I love the monkeys. What are you talking about?
Luffy Monkey, that's his name.
Yeah. Yeah, being that guy, just make yourself the villain. If you're going to be rich, you might as well be a villain because no one's going to love you anyways.
Rule with fear. Make them fear their prices going up.
Yeah. Destroy a hobby if you can. That's what I say. Think about a hobby that you could destroy if you have enough money, and how would you do it? All right, I look forward to your comments. Tell me how you would destroy a hobby. Except, like be like Sony and just shut down physical media and watch it all end.
You know, speaking of destroying hobbies, I was going to talk about this more when we were talking about physical games. I'm continually shocked at how little we see like games getting bought out. Like you'll see Magic cards get bought out all the time. People just be like, "Oh yeah, I bought 400 copies of this Magic card because I'm buying it out." And like there are so like cards are printed to such high levels. If you like, you usually can't buy. You can't almost any video game you can't buy 400 copies of. But like, where are these got? All the people who are investing obviously are buying sealed games. I want to see someone who's like, yeah, I'm just going to buy out Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, I bought every copy of Super Mario Brothers 3, waited for them to come back, and then I bought them again. And I'm just taking them off the market. And we're pumping Mario 3 to the moon because I think it's worth it, and I think people will always pay money for it. Where are the people in manipulating the markets in video games? We don't have anything like trading cards. Come on, guys. I want to see these markets get manipulated. Not this sealed bullshit like, oh, I bought 2 copies of this game, it's pop 8. No one cares about sealed. Fuck that shit. I want to see big stacks of bullshit kind of buyouts.
If you don't have 3 threads on Reddit dedicated to how much they hate you and how you're destroying it, what are you even doing?
Yes. Fuck, I want you to buy 400 copies of Silent Hill 2 and then post it on Reddit to make them mad. And then the whole point of that is to trigger everyone on Reddit to get FOMO. And then they're all going to start buying copies of Silent Hill 2 because they're like, oh shit, this guy's buying all the copies of Silent Hill 2. I better get mine now. That's the point of doing a buyout, is to trigger that kind of FOMO, right? And then you unload onto the suckers. Why don't we see this in video games?
I don't know.
It literally says to do this in Harry Rinker's book, How to Make the Most of Your Investments in Antiques and Collectibles.
Yeah, I want someone to stand in front of those Silent Hill games and be like, I just bought all these Silent Hill 2s for the original PlayStation 2 the first Silent Hill game.
yeah. Just say like, don't say something like obviously wrong, but be like, I read that this was the best Silent Hill game. Like, make it very clear you haven't played it.
Yeah. You need people to know that you have to cultivate that hate in such a way that it is a force unto itself.
All right, that's our next episode. We're going to pick the best targets of games to buy out and make people mad on Reddit. I think Silent Hill 2 was a very strong off-the-dome example.
Especially with the remake. Yeah. All right. Tyler?
Hey.
Do we have a question?
We sure do.
And do we have stuff on the Discord that we want to say that we saw that's cool?
Well, you're going to have to go start there. I'm over here with questions. Do-Re-Mi Henry from the Cheat Code Weekly podcast, or just on Get the Gug. Is Cheat Code Weekly? It's certainly not weekly.
And he's got a new one too.
He's also on like this like fancy investor speculator podcast with some people fancier than us. He says, "Can we get you and Johnny back on?" Henry, I think you're too good for us. You've got like real people doing real financial things. We're just like poor regular guys.
We're too poor. You don't want to talk to us. You want the poor person's perspective?
You could get me back on, and then you can make fun of our wrong takes about how game collecting is a dying hobby behind our backs.
Yeah. He's anything but the games now on Instagram. So check out Henry.
Because anything is cool to collect except for games, which is correct. I appreciate his tongue-in-cheek name.
Yeah, I told him I would come on and talk about Harry Potter books as a thing to pump, because he wants people to pump their hobby.
Oh man, what do I collect that I could pump besides video games?
Stamps.
I do have some. I don't have anything like really cool in stamps, but I do have like all the earliest stamps. I've got some really great video game stamps. What are the there's like a Spanish Amstrad CPC game. Oh, it's the coolest stamp. It's like a pixel art castle, and you put your thumb over it and it reveals behind doors like some other pixel art. Oh, they're the coolest video game stamps. We don't know what we're doing in America.
We sure don't.
What else can I pump? Oh, I got a lot of PAX pins. Do people still collect those PAX pins? I don't think so. I think I looked at the prices and they were pretty ho-hum. Do people still go to PAX?
I don't know.
I think the Leroy Jenkins pin was one of the most expensive. It was like $300 or $400. Yes, it's still like $400, which is what it was pre-COVID, and I'm going to consider that to be disappointing. If your collectible didn't double since COVID, like something has gone terribly wrong for your hobby.
What are you even doing? Just get out.
Yeah. Come on, guys, you don't resonate with the Hearthstone Leroy Jenkins reference anymore? This is some cutting edge stuff.
Yeah. You don't understand that 20-year-old meme?
Right. Oh, hey, we're
do you
doing
have another
things.
Question?
Nick says, why is collecting such ass, and why is Astrobot so cool? It's because Astrobot is a digital video game, and you didn't have to put a disc in to play it. Unless you did, I don't know. Is Astrobot on disc?
I don't know. It's on disc. It's got to be on disc. And because it's got a cool controller. People love when you give a game a cool controller.
Do-Re-Mi also comments, bumfuck Pikachu and one-of-one stamps on dumbass athletes selling for more than 99% of video games, which is absolutely true. Man, you cut out like that very, very top of video games, like $10,000 and up. There's very few things that sell for $10,000 and up. I realize there are the big ticket sealed games, but compared to the whole spectrum of video games, almost nothing sells for crazy prices. And then you look at like sports cards, and it's just people at shows like, oh, let's make a $40,000 trade right here on the table.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
Like that is just like a trade that happens at a sports show, and that is like headline news in video games. Like, oh shit, this game sold for $40,000. Everybody knows about this.
And that's just every Pokemon card show.
Let's do one more because we're getting some weird stuff. Did we go through this? Oh, wait. I already went through some of these. I'm going to old questions that I missed. Cozy asks, what is the worst set you completed, and do you still have it? Would you rather be able to collect games from before 1985 or after 2004? That's kind of two questions, but we're going to be generous this episode.
All right. Worst set I collected. Oof. The Pico.
Well, wait, did you buy Stefan's set? Or was that like a one-shot deal?
No.
You collected those individually?
Not individually, but yeah, that was not a one-shot. I picked these up over time.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah,
it didn't take very long because they're small, but yeah, they're big and they're ugly and the boxes are trash. The boxes are so bad I don't even know if we rated them in the box episode. But yeah, they would not get a good rating from me.
Yep, I threw out my working Sega Pico like 20 years ago, but just didn't want to deal with it. It's so big and ugly and worthless. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even going to put this thing on eBay. I just threw it out. Yeah. I have zero interest in the Pico. Besides the Pokemon games, there are a couple of rare Pokemon games on the Pico that I do think are kind of cool.
And a rare Lego game and a Sonic
It's the first Lego game. The Sonic one's whatever. But the first Lego game is on the Sega Pico. Also somewhat significant.
In our list of weird Sonic games, make sure you get that one, and for the Neo Geo Pocket.
Let's see. The worst set I've collected, Johnny. I mean, all my Nintendo stuff is all right. I got like the Pokemon Mini. That's only a few games, but I mean, it's Pokemon, so that can't be that bad. Is it the Odyssey 2? Like,
yes, it's the Odyssey 2. Why did it take you so long to get there?
I mean, I guess it's the Odyssey. I do still have it, and I don't regret it. But it is the worst set because who cares about the Odyssey 2? It's not a significant console.
Yes.
I
still have my Pico set. Just didn't answer.
Most, if not all, Odyssey 2 games are exclusive. They're not all exclusive because there's stuff like Demon Attack and Atlantis, but it's a console full of exclusives, and I think that makes it somewhat more interesting than Atari or ColecoVision, which, I mean, it's obviously not more.
I'll give it points for that. No,
yeah, that's cool.
I'll give
also,
you credit there.
Like,
yeah.
There's like 50-ish Odyssey 2 games, and like fully half of them were made by one guy, which is also very interesting. It's a very, very small number of developers for the Odyssey 2. And Johnny, would you rather collect games from before 1985 or after 2004? That is not even a question for me before 1985. So I have no interest in games after 2004 as collectibles.
Oh, I don't want to collect. Oh God!
I see you don't care about the super old shit. So what you're definitely going after 2004, I think.
After 2004, I get some of my favorite games, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you would just start collecting Switch. You'd be like, all right, well, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, you can't collect the Super Nintendo, which is what you want, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I'll go after. And I think that tracks. I think anyone who knows us probably picked both of those answers.
Yeah. I would just go hard into Atari and PC. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Gross.
Hang out with Kalen.
Even though I like some Atari games. Look, I tried to buy an Intellivision game today. It didn't work out, but I tried.
All right. Those are the questions. Did you find anything cool in what people are buying?
In the Discord? Yeah. Hey, Future Man bought a little Samson, the Bellwether, the big almost Grail. Yeah, complete in box little Samson for the Nintendo. Pretty cool. That's the best thing I saw.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the best thing we saw.
Reform Matt also bought a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, Future Man was playing it really cool. He was just like, yeah, too many games purchased, just holding box little Samson, like, oh yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, NBD, just a thing, don't worry about it.
And then, RE4 Matt's been buying some cool stuff, which I don't care about, except for F-Zero GX, which is the best racing game ever. So that is a good pick.
He bought Mint Condition on your recommendation, the book.
Mint Condition what?
The book.
What book? Oh, yeah, the book Mint Condition. That's not my recommendation, really. That's Sean from Reserved Investments recommendation. It's an okay book. It's about the card collecting hobby, baseball card collecting. I like it. I like stuff about collecting, believe it or not.
Weird. All right, that's the best stuff I saw there. That's been purchased lately.
Right. Yeah, RE4 Matt also got a complete in box first issue print Quake. Quake's the best game
Pretty
ever.
Cool.
So yeah. First print has the text on the bottom left instead of the bottom right, but the first print comes in a jewel case instead of a digipack, which is very rare. got to make sure there's no TM on the manual for the Jewel Case of Quake, because the TM manual comes from a later re-release of Quake in a collection, and a lot of those weren't opened because it came with Quake 1, 2, and 3, and a lot of people who bought that already had Quake 1, so they never opened Quake 1. So a Jewel Quake without the TM at all is cool to own, but even a sealed one with the TM is worthless. We've now, again, recapped how to find a first print Quake. Just look for the text in the bottom left of the box rather than the bottom right, the full registered version text.
All right. Tyler, I think I know the answer to this, but did you buy anything?
You know what? I'm going to double check for you, Gianni.
Okay.
Did you buy anything? I am
Did you
almost
play
positive
anything? We buy and play. What'd you play?
I've been playing more Wayward, which is the Unreal World like with my wife. You know, I played. Did I complain about Mecha Chameleon, the latest Friends Slop game that my friends made me play? I believe I did. It's a game where you play a little featureless white character and you paint yourself against a wall, and then people have to hunt you, and then it is not hard to hunt them because you are a 3D character trying to blend in a 2D space, and it's very easy to find you.
That doesn't
Made
sound
millions and millions of dollars. So hold on, this stupid Mecha Chameleon, they've been posting every time they sell another million copies. As of their latest update, which was over a week ago now, they sold 10 million copies. So this game, Mecha Chameleon, $7 nothing game for idiots. Sorry if you enjoy these games. I mean, I have to play them too because my friends play them. That's just kind of the deal here. This has sold more than like Animal Crossing for the GameCube. These things, like these numbers I see sometimes in these like very stupid indie games, it's like, this is more of a thing than a game that I would consider like one of the most classic games of all time that everybody should know and play. But more people have played this stupid piece of garbage.
Which is crazy.
Culture,
by the way.
Man, culture. How about and then more? So this will probably sell like, it'll end up selling like what, 15 million copies, and then no one will remember it next year. It will have such little impact on culture going forward because media is so fleeting now and things last so much less time than they used to.
Not worth, as the kids say.
Weird world.
All right. Tyler, did I buy anything? I did. I bought some stuff. I bought a Nintendo Switch. Are you excited by a Nintendo Switch?
Oh, no. Is it? There is no cool one, so it's probably some stupid Pokemon limited edition.
Hey, you got it. It's a Pokemon one. It's the Hey You Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu one. It's got Pikachu and Eevee on it, and it comes with exclusively colored remotes, if that excites you, which I know it does not.
The first print with the red and blue one, I think that's the best Switch. And I'm kind of sad that I have the black one because they ran out of the red and blue ones. I was like the only one in the line who didn't pre-order. I just kind of like showed up. I'm like, I guess I'll buy a Switch today. I literally saw the line. It was like 4 people long on my way home from work. I'm like, I guess I'll buy a Switch. And then everyone who had a pre-order got to cut the line ahead of me, and they all got the red and blue one. It's not the worst thing. I don't hate the Pokemon Switch, although, you know, yellow and brown, not the best colors, I would say.
No. Poop and pee. Let's go. Poop and pee colors. It's meant to represent Eevee, who is brown, and Pikachu, who is yellow, two of the most popular Pokemon. Put it up for the wife stuff, right in her little Pokemon collection. I also bought a game called Silver Chains for the PS4. It is a PAL exclusive. It is a first-person survival horror walk through a manor game.
Wow, this sounds pretty unique.
Yeah, you've never heard of it. It's been called in reviews as like, okay, and just fine, more horror, fairly generic, things like that. Outstanding reviews. It is kind of expensive though, and it's been getting more expensive. So I was like, I better, if I want this for the set, the horror set that's not a set, I better go ahead and pick it up. So I did. And I'll probably make a video about it coming soon. By that, I mean October. Tyler, Do you know what the problem with July 4th is?
You get invited to barbecues?
No, Tyler, the problem with July 4th is right after this, the next holiday is pretty much Halloween. That's it. Like, that's like, as far as retail holidays, they're like, oh, back to school. But really, like, all the stores start getting their Halloween stuff out starting in like mid-July. It used to be August.
Memorial
That's got pushed
coming along
These aren't
sometime.
real holidays. These aren't retail holidays.
Memorial Day has to be a retail holiday. Aren't there all these Memorial Day sales? I remember commercials as a kid.
Yes, there are sales to get you to go buy stuff, but not stuff produced specifically for. 4th of July has its own like thing. Memorial Day, you just barbecue.
I mean, you walk in any grocery store, they're selling overpriced fireworks.
So that's what I'm saying. That's 4th of July. And then, so what happens is the retail stores start to transition into their next retail holiday,
So
which
can
is
we
Halloween.
move like Thanksgiving up or something? Like the Thanksgiving Christmas thing is ridiculous. They are obviously too close together.
Yeah.
And like the Christmas has like religious connotations. So can we just move Thanksgiving? Because no one cares when Thanksgiving is. It doesn't matter. I guess it's a harvest festival, but Christmas is too tied to being winter. We gotta get rid of Thanksgiving. Like move Thanksgiving to like August or something. And then we could make it like an outdoorsy barbecue type holiday, like 4th of July. You
just did 4th of July. You can't put it in August.
September still kind of counts for the harvesty theme. I feel like
Canada does their Thanksgiving, I think, October 1st, right?
that's too close to Halloween then. Like, because I have people over for Halloween too.
But you can, I mean, you can stop selling stuff by the middle of September because, like, hey, if you don't have your stuff, only the food stuff is now available, and then like be transitioning, and you can get like 4 weeks of Halloween stuff. I don't know. It's not enough time. Halloween is a big money driver and sells for months.
I think we need we like a government commission to like figure out how to spread out the holidays better, because the whole like, man, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's is the worst fucking stretch. It's all this good stuff where I get off of work like right in a row, and I don't want that. And then everyone wants to take off the same 2 weeks between like Christmas and the week after New Year's, and this whole big thing, and seniority and lottos and who can take off, but there's also not a lot of work because no one's really working the first week of the year or the last week of the year.
Yeah.
No pain in the ass.
Who cares about Q4? Get out. You know what I mean? Fuck it.
All right, we done with this episode, Johnny?
Yeah, I didn't play anything. That's it. All right. We are done with the episode. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. If you are interested in this or more, then find our Discord, which you can do through Patreon /Collector's Quest. And it's like $4. So if you want to, if not, just keep listening. And we appreciate you all. Thanks so much. Hope your 4th of July was nice and that nobody lost any fingers and all the pretty colors were all up in your eyes and you drank or did whatever it is you enjoy. All right, bye.